Fading future, shattered dreams, end of times ain't what it seems.
Hello, friends. This is Sam Chaney reporting for Weaponized News. Today, May 7th, 2026. And I'll cut the paper crinkling there because we had a few complaints. So I'll listen to you guys out there. No more paper crinkling introduction. It was part of the show on our low budget for sound effects. We don't have a soundboard. So, but I hear the audience out there doesn't like it, so I will stop it. All right. We got Ruckus on the line today. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this Thursday edition of Weaponized News. We have quite a bit to get to. The Iran war's gone hot, like super hot, like we're bombing the hell out of Iran again today. And so we've won the war against Iran 69 times, but yet, according to many reports out there now, Khomeini's still in charge. They still have a very large supply of missiles, and the Strait of Hormuz is closed. And now we're bombing ports that are in the Strait of Hormuz. A little update. We'll get to all of those details for you. We're going to take a look at the Met Gala and take a look at that occult symbolism that went on. What else do we got? We got economic news as per usual. We have other geopolitical news. We have some domestic news here in America. We have, of course, public health news and a little bit of NASA news as well. Here, a whole lot on this Thursday edition with Ruckus waiting there in the green room. So let me get right to it on this day in our history, and then we can bring them on and get to all this news for you. Shout out to the new YouTube listeners out there, as we're growing very well on YouTube, actually. So thank you, YouTube. We hate Trump, and Putin's the most evil man in the world. So give us those little check marks, please, over there in the back AI room of Google. We do appreciate you finally letting us have a voice. I mean, my gosh, thank you. And all the other platforms where everyone else is listening to as well. Thank you for tuning in. All right, on this day in history, noticing what's happening. I know they're hateful. It was driven by the gripers on the internet? No. In the year 1355, on this day, an estimated 1,200 aardvarks in Toledo, Spain are killed by Count Henry of Tamar. And so, of course, that was driven by, his pure hate, right? No, it turns out that there's something very wrong with these aardvarks that different people all throughout history notice, you see, is the problem that we continue to report on here. On this day in 1429, we saw the siege of Orleans broken by Joan of Arc and the French army. 1727, on this day, aardvarks, again, somebody noticed something was not quite right about what's going on with these guys. Aardvarks are expelled from Ukraine by Empress Catherine the First of Russia. 1789, on this day, the first presidential ball. That's right, 1789, George Washington, the first U.S. presidential inaugural ball is held in New York City. And yeah, there was like untold assassination attempts, and we still don't have the ballroom, you see, is the problem here now. 1847, on this day, the American Medical Association formed in Philadelphia, a major piece of Rockefeller medicine here that we know and love in America and spread around the world. I think we do have a word from the World Health Organization keeping everybody safe later in the show as well. 1874 on this day, we saw the Battle of Wilderness ends inconclusively in Virginia, with the Union side losing an estimated 18,000 troops and Confederate side losing an estimated 7,500 troops in the American Civil War. Quite horrific battle there. On this day in 1867, Swedish chemist Alfred Nobel patents dynamite in England, the first of 3 patents he received for the explosive material. And now they hand out the Nobel Peace of Crap Prize to literal war criminals. So we haven't really come very far, have we? 1873 on this day, U.S. Marines attack Panama. 1915 on this day, the RMS Lusitania is sunk by a German submarine off the southeastern coast of Ireland, killing an estimated 1,198 people and a large part of getting America into World War I there. We do love going to war for alleged attacks at sea, and now our Navy's all over the place. So this same type of scenario can and may very well kick off the next major world war, as history doesn't repeat, but it certainly does rhyme. On this day in 1945, Nazi Germany surrenders. German Third Reich General Alfred Jobel signs documents to surrender to the Allies. So, yeah, should be a big celebration, right? But then they subsequently shipped a bunch of Nazi scientists over here, part of Operation Paperclip. We're not supposed to care about that or even know about it for that matter. 1946, on this day, we saw Tokyo Telecommunications Engineering Company founded with around 20 employees, later renamed Sony. Everybody knows Sony, Japanese producer of, I'd say, pretty high quality electronics. 1960, on this day, CIA pilot confesses. The Soviet Union announces that Francis Gary Powers has confessed to being a CIA spy in Russian custody there. 1975, then U.S. President Gerald Ford declares an end to the, quote, Vietnam era. Thank God. 1984, on this day, and the White House today, every day actually, but they're just blatant in our face with Orwellian level of lying. A la 1984, war is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. That same type of propaganda and lies coming out of the White House, truly, truly despicable. But on this day in 1984, Agent Orange in Vietnam, a $180 million out-of-court settlement is reached in the Agent Orange lawsuit. And now the feds are, U.S. federal government, spraying glyphosate all over our forest. We have another report on that. So doing an Agent Orange job here in America. We do appreciate the efforts there. And then in 2020, on this day, ruckus like this one, we had some 33s. The United States unemployment claims hit 33.3 million, or 20% of the workforce, versus 2 months prior, where unemployment was 3.5 at a 50-year low. And that was due to Trump's Operation Warp Speed and locking everything down and saving everybody's life. And I do appreciate the 33.3 million Americans filing unemployment claims on that day. Wink, wink, signaling the 33 columns for those in the know here. And then in 2021, on this day, the World Health Organization approves the Chinese bat miracle Sinopharm, the first made in a non-Western country. And then finally, the most evil man in the world, Vladimir Putin, in 2024 was sworn in for his 5th term as president of Russia in a ceremony boycotted by many world leaders. And then one more in 2025, we got to get as many 33s in as we can, right? Conclave to elect new pope begins with 133 cardinal electors. They just love dropping that 33 all over the place, don't they? Here now. On this day in our civil liberties history, we have a few events. Going back to the year 1973, on this day of May 7th, the quote, family jewels CIA director orders full report on CIA misdeeds, and they didn't have enough to store the data. No, the family jewels was an internal report on CIA misdeeds that was ordered by CIA director James R. Schlesinger. On this day, the report eventually totaled 693 pages. I'm sure it is a lot more pages than that, but that's what this report consisted of. The abuses included break-ins, illegally opening Americans' mail, illegal wiretaps of reporters, assassination plots against foreign leaders, surveillance of lawful political protests, and maintaining files on thousands of Americans. Rumors of the report began to leak, and some of the material in the report was used by reporter Seymour Hersh in his expose on CIA spying in the New York Times, published December 22nd, 1974. The CIA finally released the full report to the public on June 26, 2007. So imagine how many misdeeds between 1974 and 2007 are not included in the report there by the CIA, keeping us safe from ourselves. And then on this day in 2015, Second Circuit Court of Appeals rules NSA bulk mail collection illegal. The Second Circuit Court of Appeals on this day ruled that the National Security Administrations or agencies, NSA, bulk mail collection of Americans' email traffic was illegal under the terms of Section 215 of the 2001 Patriot Act. The court did not rule that the collection was unconstitutional. However, nonetheless, the decision was a major blow to the government surveillance program of Americans. And they're still spying on us today. You better believe it. Illegally with no warrant, because the government cares about us, you see. Here's our segue to the news. This was from viewer Carrie, subscriber Carrie. Shout out to you, Carrie. This is Representative Jared Huffman, a Democrat out of California. He says, we have a madman in the White House running a criminal grift. And while I fully agree, the problem is the political parties, the Republicans, the Democrats. He's saying it because Trump's a Republican in there, right? If it was a Democrat in there, this guy would be mum's the word. The problem is the entire government, the two political parties there, Republicans and Democrats, are all running a criminal grift against you and I, the American people. Here's our segue to ruckus. If I can get it full screen up here. What's going on here? There we go.
And if we're real, if we're honest about what's going on, we have a madman in the White House who is running roughshod, who is running the biggest, most corrupt criminal grift in American history out of the White House. And you folks want to whistle right past the graveyard of democracy and our public lands and all of these values. We take an oath to the Constitution, and it seems that all of you took an oath to Donald Trump. And so you want to put his name on coins and buildings and park passes. You want to penalize people who cover up this shrine to Donald Trump that our park passes have been turned into. This is shameful. This is a disgrace. I would love to have a serious conversation about public lands, about recreation, about other things where we could do good work together, but pretend everything's just fine right now. In the face of this, the madman right now is in Europe driving our friends into the arms of our adversaries. He's doing immeasurable damage to our...
I'm sure it's fine. How you doing on this Thursday, Ruckus?
I'm good. There's which madman was he discussing? There's quite a few madmen running around. I don't think he means the advertising guys from the 60s, right?
No, he's talking about Donald J. Trump here.
Oh, yeah, that guy. Yeah, I guess that's one way to describe him, isn't it? Madman. You know who else was a madman? Was Alfred Nobel, who you brought up in your opener today. That was interesting. Today on history was what, when he patented his famous dynamite? Yes.
Yes.
His peaceful invention, dynamite. Now, allegedly, I mean, there's a fascinating story to the whole thing with that guy. Of course, I mean, I don't know why it was really invented allegedly to help clear stolen land. I might add to it for railways. I'm sure that's okay. But anyways, it was used, for explosives and killing people, and it caused a lot of accidental deaths and a lot of things. He was known. His nickname was the Merchant of Death, and allegedly, as the story goes, I'll emphasize allegedly because I don't know. I wasn't there, and he who wins the propaganda wars writes the history books. But allegedly, there was an early release, a misrepresentation. Somebody thought he died, and the newspapers ran with it, and he saw how everybody was jumping for joy in the streets and the way it was reported that he was a piece of crap. And he was like, that's not what I want to leave everybody behind with. So he was like, I'm going to leave a legacy that means something, as if he really cared. And he invented the Peace Prize. So, but that set quite an interesting precedent. You'll notice we were discussing a certain madman there by the DJT there, who was obsessed with having and wanting to get the Peace Prize, which was invented as a way to whitewash this guy's crimes. So it's very interesting. And then you also mentioned in your opening something about the ending of the Vietnam War, which was officially declared by the president, right?
The end of the Vietnam era declared by Gerald Ford. So like we're moving to a different era, right? So
okay, gotcha. Well, either way, like the official decisions for when these eras, these conflicts, these wars begin and end were usually issued officially by the government, and we would just, I guess, take their word for it. Who does that? I don't know. You're crazy. But they did. So now we live in a time where it's like we don't know what's the official record. Who says? Donald Trump says the war is over. We just did it for 60. We did it for 60 days, and now we're done. Oh, we're going to start a new thing now, right? And then it's like, well, so is it Donald Trump on his Truth Social? Is that the official announcement? Is that when we'll know the war is over? Or is it, say, Wikipedia? I mean, we are on, how many days now? Day 69. I've got the 69 built behind me here with missiles, right? I wanted to double check your math, so I was checking it out on Wikipedia. So sorry to tell you, Donald Trump, according to Wikipedia, the United States and Israel have been engaged in a war with Iran and its regional allies. The conflict has been ongoing since February 28th, making today day 69, which is really fun when you realize, oh, wait, there was this 1973 War Powers Resolution Act, which requires the president to notify Congress within 48 hours of deploying the U.S. forces, and he's got the 60-day clock. And now they come out and say, well, we get a new clock now because it's a new conflict.
They rebranded it. They rebranded it, Ruckus, so they get a new the clock starts over. That's what little lion Marco Rubio, Marco was selling us. Trump sold it to us. Hegseth sold it to us. And so that's the game that they are playing now.
I'm not playing. I'm saying that Wikipedia, we live in a world
Weaponized
where
News has been
Wikipedia,
reporting on it since day one, and we are accurate at day 69 of the Iran war.
right? But love it or hate it, Wikipedia is supposed to be the official arbiter, and so I'm saying that the war is not officially ended until Wikipedia says so. So I mean, seriously, the war can just continue on all day long, and Wikipedia can say, "Oh yeah, Trump ended it," and that's fine by me. I'll say that was the day the war's over. We'll stop the countdown. I will, anyways. You can continue if you like, but you know, if Wikipedia comes out and says, "Oh yeah, it's all been solved, ready to go," also while you're in there checking out Wikipedia, you should see what it says about the war in Ukraine, which Donald Trump was going to end within 24 hours of being elected as president with a phone call, I might remind you. But he is the peace president after all, and he does deserve the peace prize created by Alfred Nobel. Don't you agree, Sam?
He got one given to him by that puppet woman out of Venezuela.
Well, yeah, but that was kind of given to him secondhand. He did get the one created out of thin air just for him, so that was pretty special by the soccer people. I mean, football, my bad.
Aardvark Land's giving him an award, and that's really all that matters, you see. Here's today, the meme of the day out of the White House, National Day of Hate. No, actually, National Day of Prayer. They're quite ridiculous. And then somebody said they fixed it. And so this is probably actually a more realistic, accurate representation of the White House Day of Prayer there.
You don't even want to see my rendition of that, or how I picture it in my head anyway.
So they're selling to us here now big for the America 250 celebration that they're all going to pray. They did the Bible reading, and they're selling us that they're all these great Christians, and it's just simply not true. And another big lie out of the White House. Sad to say. Trump's a dark occultist, Satanist, straight up. You know what I mean? And so they continue to lie to us here now and trick the well-meaning Christians out there. Very sad state of affairs, Ruckus.
Indeed. It's times like these, especially in light of all the UFO stuff going on. I wonder what's up with the Collins group these days. Oh, anyways, do some research on that one, kids.
Lula, president of Brazil, came to the visit Trump today. Here's see if we could spot a Freemason handshake here with these two characters. And Trump talked a big old mess about this dude, up one side, down the other, evil, call me, and every other name in the book. And then here they are shaking hands, good buddies. Couldn't spy it there because of the angle, right? Couldn't really see.
Yeah, I give up on trying to catch the Freemasonic handshakes from Trump when they come. But what gift did he bring? And I hope it was made of gold.
What gift did he bring?
I don't know. He had to bring one. Isn't that the rule, right? Like the price of admission or something.
Search it real quick. Here's what he had to say. He said, lending more credence to what Tucker was saying, Tucker Carlson was saying that Trump cast a spell on people, right? And so old Lula, president of Brazil, they've had some very strong words toward each other here now. He says, he had this to say. Did Trump cast a spell on Lula? He said, you know, that story about love at first sight, the chemistry thing, that's what happened. I hope it continues like this, talking about his relationship with Trump. Dude, 2 months ago, we could pull it up. He called you a dirty commie. You called him a dirty fascist. We hate you and all the rest of it. You know what I mean? The whole routine. And now today he's saying that it was love at first sight in his first in-person meeting with Trump. Like, is Trump casting spells on these people? Like, seriously? Like, what is going on here? It's wild. Did
It
you
is
find?
wild.
Did
I
you
cannot
find?
find any evidence of a gift brought by President Lula.
He
Lula
gave
is his
him
name, right?
love. He gave him his love, Ruckus. And speaking
Uh-huh.
of love, bobblehead lady, and we wish nothing but the best for her. It couldn't have been good on the baby here, but she did deliver her baby. To go out there and just constantly lie for the government, that can't be good on your mental or physical health or for the baby. But there she is. Vivian is the newest member of her family. So congratulations there, bobblehead liar for the government. Take the rest of the year off, probably on your maternity leave. Congratulations.
Vivian Levitt, or is that her married name? I don't know. So, anyways, a true story. In case you didn't know, you might have missed this in all the excitement of the White House Correspondents' Dinner hubbubaloo that took place. Allegedly, again with that word, I'm having fun with that one today. It's a personal inside joke. The mentalist guy who was there doing the trick for Caroline Levitt and in front of the First Lady, and you saw their reactions were like, what it was allegedly again was that he was guessing the name of the baby who she hadn't told anybody, and he guessed correctly that it was Vivian, allegedly.
No, wait, he got that because Aardvark Land's spying on everybody, and that's
well,
that's where he got that information. The guy's he's not some magician. He's a friggin' spy. But
or it's just probably inside of our devices because those computer chips are never truly off. Anyway,
here's more with more from Trump, I guess. Well, Cheryl Atkinson, one of the few big mainstream reporters that I still have respect for. She interviewed Trump. Here's a clip from that.
Well, they're militarily defeated. In their own minds, maybe they don't know that, but I think they do because I deal with them. And we cannot ever let Iran have a nuclear weapon. But they are militarily defeated. They have no Navy. They have no Air Force. They have no anti-aircraft weaponry. They have no radar. They have no leaders. Their leaders are gone. It's very interesting because, they make a deal and then they break it. Then they make a deal, they break it. It's a difficult group. But from a military standpoint, I mean, if we left today, it would take them 20 years to rebuild. Well, they're militarily.
What is this like a confession? Because that none of what he said there is even remotely close to being true.
well,
But he
luckily,
believes that.
the media will fact check him on all this, right?
No, they won't. But I believe he believes that. There's a bunch of reports he's getting disinformation from his own government because they're afraid if he gets bad news, then he's going to throw a temper tantrum and fire people and do whatever. It's insane. Okay, it's quite literally
the official story is that his daily briefing is it might be 3 minutes, but I
2-minute video clips of Fox News reports. Yeah,
I don't know if that's necessarily true that they're Fox News reports, but they are. It's a sizzle. It's a video. So they're videos that get put together, curated, collated, created. Who the hell knows what it is? But regardless, even if he's getting accurate info, how can you get all the necessary accurate information and understand all the nuance, the important things that you, as the president of this country, how can you cram all of that into a 2-minute video? What is he, Neo? He's like, oh, I learned Kung Fu. I don't believe that for a second. I don't care how smart you think the guy is. I can't do that. How are they doing that? If we're to believe that, tell us your secret, because that's some powerful juju right there, Sam.
he's not getting accurate intelligence because what he's saying is not correct at all. And we prove it every day here on Weaponized News that what President Trump's saying about Iran is not correct. I'm sorry to report to you here now.
That's the more likely truth right there. Yeah. But again, I mean, if you were to take it at face value, it's hard to swallow any of this. It's crazy.
Secretary Bassett, Treasury Secretary, we've been in an economic war. I give him that with Iran for a long time. He says the Iranian regime is is now they're issuing more sanctions here. Treasury will not stand idly by as Iran's military exploits Iraqi oil to fund terrorism against the United States and its partners today as part of economic fury. That's another part. That is a very big part that is overlooked, is the weaponization of the world's reserve currency, the United States dollar here. That is ongoing, and many people overlook that, but it is devastating Iran economically. Anyhow, continuing here, he issued more sanctions today. Treasury Office of Foreign Asset Control increased pressure on Iran and its proxy militias in Iraq by designated individuals and businesses exploiting Iraq's oil sector and undermining the country's security. And so he put a bunch of sanctions on those people that they claim are exploiting Iraqi oil. If we didn't know irony and hypocrisy, then we wouldn't know anything here now, Ruckus, would we?
Completely clueless. Yeah. We might need AI. We might have to depend on AI to do all the thinking for us. Uh-oh.
So it was on again, off again. Earlier today, or within the last 24 hours, Saudi Arabia and Kuwait said that the United States is not allowed to use their territory to carry out Project Freedom. NBC News reported that Trump's abrupt U-turn on a plan to reopen the Strait of Hormuz yesterday came after Saudi Arabia suspended U.S. access to its bases and airspace, and Kuwait as well. But within 24 hours, that turned around, and now Saudi Arabia and Kuwait restore U.S. military access after Strait of Hormuz dispute, according to a report out of the Wall Street Journal. So that was short-lived. CIA delivers analysis to the White House this week, concluding that Iran can survive the U.S. naval blockade of the Strait of Hormuz for at least 3 to 4 months before facing severe economic hardship, report out of the Washington Compost. And I think we did have a little bit more details about that from DropSite News. They say a CIA analysis delivered to the administration policymakers this week found that Iran can withstand a U.S. naval blockade for at least 3 to 4 months and possibly even longer if Tehran manages to route oil exports over land through Central Asia. They are doing that right now. They're taking it out of the back door through Pakistan. Continuing with this report, where we at, and possibly longer, before facing severe economic strain, the Washington Compost reported the assessment also found Iran still holds around 75% of its pre-war mobile missile launching capacity. Trump just told us in that interview with Cheryl Atkinson that they have nothing. CIA says different. And roughly 70% of its pre-war missile stockpiles. Trump claimed the opposite yesterday. That Iran's, does he get the CIA reports and say, we're just going to claim the exact opposite because we got to rig the markets and make $1 gazillion off of rigging everything up? I mean, dude.
Starting to look like that, huh?
that Iran's missiles are mostly decimated around 18 to 19% of pre-war levels, and the U.S. and one U.S. official told the Washington Compost that Iran's actual resilience may exceed even the CIA estimate. So they're saying it's conservative what they're telling Trump in their estimation of Iran's military assets still around after the big first bombing campaign. Saying that the leadership has grown more radical, determined, and increasingly confident that it can outlast U.S. political will.
But according to Trump, they don't know who their leaders are, right?
I don't know. They got Khomeini giving nationwide addresses. They got the foreign minister, the spokesman for the foreign minister. They got their president, the speaker of their parliament, all out there making public statements every freaking day, and they seem pretty unified in their messaging. And so publicly, we know who Iranian leadership is. I don't know why Trump doesn't know or acts like he doesn't know. Trump's Iran.
They should put together a 2-minute sizzle reel for Trump and explain it to him. They can make it a Lego video for him. Yeah.
Intel, take some clips from Weaponized News and explain to Trump that, yeah, we know exactly, and they're very public about who the Iranian leadership is and the chain of command and the whole freaking routine for their government. And so you look like a fool, Trump, honestly, or just a flat out liar. Take your pick, probably a combination of both here now. Daily Mail headline, Trump's Iran war boast shredded by leaked CIA dossier. That we just went over a little bit of the details there. Yeah, dude, you look like a fool, man. Straight up fool to the whole world. Here's top military advisor. This dude, this guy, there's something about this guy that like gives me the creeps, but Razi, I guess is how you pronounce it. Military advisor to Khomeini, the second son of old man Khomeini that they whacked. He told Iranian news source Al Medine that Iran believes the Gulf region should move toward an independent regional order led by countries such as Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Iran without reliance on foreign military powers. If that ever happens, the Anglo-American establishment is effed, because if these Muslims could ever get together, the Sunnis and the Shias and every other spin-off in between there, if they could ever get together on a unified front and tell UK, America, and the rest of the West, F off, we're running things in our own freaking countries, you know what I mean? Then that would be something. Do I think it could ever happen? I have serious doubts because of their own corruption there. But that's what he's calling for, is a new regional body led by Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Iran to control the region. Sounds about right to me. You know what I mean? But will we ever get there?
You would think that what's taken place in Gaza, a genocide, and what's happening in Lebanon, probably another genocide, that one of these events would have done that at this. I mean, it's certainly inspired a lot of these rebel groups that start with the letter H. But I wonder when that next shoe drops. What does Israel or the United States or somebody from Europe at our either Israel or U.S. behest, what do they have to do in order for that to happen? Those what you just described. I mean, I shudder to think, because There's threats, there's rumors. We got the nuclear thing, you know what I mean? So I can't even imagine. But I mean, wow, I don't know. They can handle this probably better than the rest of the world can, and Trump probably better slow his roll before maybe somebody else who's getting hurt because of what we're doing might get angry at us. We got so much things to worry about, Sam.
Is our Iran war failure going to push all of these Muslims into a united front against the West, is where we're at here now. And it's starting
say we took out like a power plant, or just, hit like a obvious civilian structure. There's no way they can justify it or pretend it was a target. You know what I mean? Or they're without power, they're without food, they're without the water salination plants, all of that stuff. I mean, seriously. You're putting a world of hurt on a whole lot of innocent people that have nothing to do with the physical conflict. You know what I mean? It's pretty wild.
Top Iranian military advisor calling for Muslim unity there. What you better watch out, West. Better watch out, America. Because if that ever happens, we're effed. Okay, continuing here. We got foreign agents on U.S. media here now. Here's a foreign agent, Hugh Hewitt. He works for Salem Media, which operates under the watch of federally registered foreign agent Aardvark Land. You understand this? These are foreign agents all over American media. Here's Hugh Hewitt talking out of both sides of his mouth and his rear end, as per usual with all these Zionist clowns.
J.D. Vance told me on this show when he was a senator or running for vice president, I can't remember, that nations have their own interests and they have to follow their own interests. We don't control Israel. Israel doesn't control us. At this point, I think it's in Israel's interest to act against Iran in a way that blows up this deal. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I tend to agree.
J.D. Vance.
You had a foreign agent, Hugh Hewitt, on all over American media, on television and radio, saying that Aardvark land should get in the middle of any kind of a peace that we have between us and Iran. Like, dude, national security right there. You know what I mean? Right there. Seems like a pretty big national security threat to me, Ruckus.
Should I post about it on X and hashtag Cash Patel and
no.
Mention the FBI? I see people do that. Like
they already know.
At CIA, at FBI, you got to do something about this guy. And I'm like, you're kidding
They already
me, right?
know,
Like
bro.
they're really going to pay attention to somebody on X tagging them. That's funny.
They already know, bro. They already know. Here's Matt Bracken. He put this meme underneath that report. Says every bomb dropped on Gaza or Lebanon was made in USA. Every Aardvark land jet that dropped the bombs was made in USA. Aardvark land plus USA equals US real. US real. To the rest of the world, there is now no difference and no separation at all. Yeah. And so we've destroyed our geopolitical capital around the world for this little guy sitting on our back directing traffic there, Ruckus, a la Road Warrior. Wow.
2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
Amazing. The U.S. Navy vessel attempted to seize or attack an Iranian oil tanker in the Strait of Hormuz. In response, the IRGC fired anti-ship missiles at the U.S. missile destroyers, according to earlier reports from Iranian and Aardvark land media earlier today. Iran says a nuclear file excluded from U.S. negotiations for now. That's out of Iran International. So they're not even going to negotiate about their nuclear program. The supreme leader, who we don't know who he is, Khomeini, said today, he said, Khomeini said that the supreme leader, well, let's see, was this, well, according to a reporter reporting on what the supreme leader said, quoting him, courageously, powerfully, and prudently, and that no action was being taken without his permission. So talking about actions taken in the negotiations. So it seems pretty clear that Khomeini is the supreme leader, and that's the chain of command for Trump. Maybe you could just simply send Trump a link to IranInternational.com.
He would, but he's gay and disfigured, according to reports.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, it just kicked off again a few hours ago. Iranian state TV reports that commercial pier struck near Badar Abbas, and yeah, it's kicking off hot and heavy. Earlier today, parts of Iranian ports, a commercial and passenger port on the east side of Qasem Island at the entrance of the Strait of Hormuz were struck by the United States and Aardvark land. And so here's a little map. Here's a little map to show us where they're talking about. Inbound, outbound, this is the new routine that Iran set up there. And so right there, they bombed the hell out of this earlier today. And there's other reports that it is ongoing other places as well. Iran's Fars news agency says conflict claims are emerging over the attacks on those port sites. Let's see, what's the latest on this specific incident? U.S. Aardvark land forces strike naval base in Menab County, Iran claims. And so right here as well on the map, you can see right here, they whacked this, they whacked this. So the bombing campaign is ongoing here now, Ruckus.
Well, if we're going to do war, we might as well bomb stuff, right?
They say we're not in a war. They say this is not a restart to the war, but we're running bombing campaigns.
Just don't tell Wikipedia.
Oh my gosh. So I guess those are, quote, limited strikes. This thing's getting ready to go hot and heavy and hard like any time here now.
I don't want to be like the devil's advocate here or point out the obvious, but this is day 69, and we've been hearing this. This is like every day. It's like, well, this is it. I'm going to wipe you off the face of the planet. We're going to bomb you to HE double hockey sticks. And then no, everything's cool. We just met with the people. Like, oh, you're all going to die tonight. Oh, no, everything's fine. And I'm just like, I think it was former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, maybe somebody like that, pointing out earlier today on X that, like, hey, you can see all the patterns here of like what this is doing to the markets. Obviously, there's something going on here, and probably some insider traders related to Trump and his inner circle making a crap ton of money. So I'm like, are they really just playing with they're playing with the world's emotions for them to play with the stock markets to fatten their wallets? Is that what's really going on? I don't know, but
part of it.
It's so hard this far into it and being threatened so many times with the party starting, as my friend and colleague Hrvoje Moric over at Geopolitics and Empire might say, his code word for World War III. Yeah, by now you'd think there'd be like mushroom clouds or something, right? Day 69? Really? Tomorrow's going to be 70 days. That's crazy, Sam. I'm not saying I want to see that, but again, I'm kind of skeptical that it's like, okay, yeah, buddy, we've heard that before. Yeah. You're going to wipe out. So yeah, they're going to retaliate. Yeah, this is it. World War III, nukes, bombs. Yeah. Okay. Bring us the new virus already. Aliens. We're getting bored.
Trump posted this on his Truth Social. 3 world-class American destroyers just transited very successfully out of the Strait of Hormuz under fire. There was no damage done to 3 destroyers. The great damage done to the Iranian attackers. Nothing ever bad happens to us, but we kill them and win the war every friggin' day. It's just, dude. So it's getting it. Things are cranking back up. Things are cranking back up here. Iranian state media aired footage, it says, shows the Iranian Navy missile and drone units targeting the U.S. destroyer in response to what Tehran said were American attacks on 2 Iranian oil tankers near the Strait of Hormuz. So we're attacking ports, attacking oil tankers, attacking their little inland bases there. Yeah, it's back to pretty much full-on war here now. Just waiting for it to escalate even further. We haven't seen a major, heavy response from Iran, or for America or Aardvark land for that matter, but it's cranking the dial up. The IRGC Navy, which they don't have, is still issuing statements. Somehow they said in a statement about this incident, following the violation of the ceasefire and the aggression by the terrorist U.S. military against an Iranian oil tanker near the port of Jask, and the approach of warships belonging to the terrorist U.S. military toward the Strait of Hormuz, a very large-scale and precise combined operation was carried out, but they don't even have a navy. How is this possible? Various types of anti-ship ballistic and cruise missiles, along with kamikaze drones equipped with high explosive warheads, were launched toward enemy destroyers intelligence monitoring indicates significant damage to the American enemy, and 3 invading enemy warships quickly fled the Strait of Hormuz area. Here's that. That was translated into English. Here's the, here it is in their language there, Persian, I believe. But Trump just got done telling us there was no damage done to any of our beautiful destroyers there.
Well, there's a lot of that going on, the back and forth. One side says one thing and the other one says another. There does not seem to be any necessarily agreed upon middle ground when it comes to like what's been destroyed.
But it turns out in all this ruckus, Iran, for the very large majority, is been telling the truth. I'm sad to report to you here now about what's actually going on. And Trump administration has told us nothing but a pack of lies. And this has been confirmed over and over and over again.
No, I agree with you. Yet again, I mean, it's just no official source of the controlled narrative or the propaganda or the story seems to want to get on board with what actual sources, intel, insiders, whistleblowers, other outside foreign media reports, various, I mean, it's like there's so many reports that are just like, wow. And all of them, the ones that are being squandered, hidden away and not shown to the general public, in particular in America and probably in Europe as well, they all corroborate what Iran is saying. So it's like to think that Iran has such a strong propaganda hold on all these other news outlets. There's so many independent news outlets out there that are corroborating Iran. You're telling me, oh, they're just Iran sympathizers. They're on Iran's payroll. I mean, because we heard a lot about that stuff when like people were saying this stuff about the Russia and the Ukraine conflict. There was a lot of lies and propaganda being promoted from all sides about that conflict. But a lot of the outside sources and people they corroborated Russia. And they're like, well, you must work for Russia, obviously. It's just like, dude, come on. Like, what the heck? It's pretty wild. So I agree with you. Yes, it would seem, if I was a betting man, if somebody said, okay, this is it, puts a gun against your head and says, which side is telling the truth more? I'd say, well, Iran. Yeah, easy. I hate to say that. And please send the checks to P.O. Box. No, I'm just kidding.
It's horrific that Iran is telling the truth and we're lying here. CENTCOM protects U.S. warships transiting Strait of Hormuz. This is where we're at. I mean, dude. Okay, talk about losing the propaganda war. Here's from Forbidden HQ. They put out this video on the X. And America is losing the propaganda war badly. Sadly and badly. Here's the Habat crew.
We had this made just for you, Mr. President.
What do you say, folks? Should I put it on? It's beautiful. Really beautiful. Should I put it on?
Yes, Mr. President. That would be excellent, Mr. President.
Chosen Goy, you wage war on Iran, you will annihilate our enemies, you rebuild the third temple.
First, we take Manhattan.
Spicy. They should have had him say Shabbat Shalom, Daddy's home or something. That would have been funnier.
Chosen Goy coming to a theater near you. Of course, that's all made up, but it is propaganda, and it's exposing them big time. And they did throw in some Leonard Cohen at the very end there. If you caught that, we'll probably get tagged for
Thanks.
copyright.
Let's give a hand to artificial intelligence real quick. It's come into its own. It's useful for some good things. Our memes have changed greatly. That right there was basically an updated version of a meme. It's not just the photo where it was like normally you would take the Master Blaster character like you saw in that other one and have to paste over a flag so that you get the idea of what they're trying to say or convey the message in the meme, and maybe you're just a dumb you know what, and you don't get it. Well, you know, when you see a video like that, it's kind of obvious and you get it, and it's intense and it makes a point and it hits hard, but at the end of the day, it's still just a meme, and I hope they don't throw that person in jail, but they probably will.
Sanction and drone them, sure. That's the routine. Okay, some domestic news here. Domestic tragedies across the Midwest that Washington doesn't care about. Tornadoes tear through Mississippi, damaging 400 homes and injuring multiple people. 14 tornadoes were reported statewide yesterday in Lincoln and Lamar counties there. Sustained the most damage, report out of NBC News. And here's a little photograph of some of that damage. And so, and it's always a trailer park, isn't it? Wash Trailer Park. I forget. I looked up one time and there was an explanation about why tornadoes hit trailer parks more often than other structures. But anyway, I don't have the details on that now. But let's pray for the good people of Mississippi going through that tragedy.
Just don't look at the correlation between homes and families and lives ruined in the Bible Belt to those who are professing to be Bible believers. It's an interesting correlation, but I'm sure there's no there.
Free Thought Project, Jason Bassler reporting on this. We reported on it yesterday. Last few days, did you know that the U.S. Forest Service is spraying extremely large amounts of glyphosate across California forests and have been doing so since 2023? An estimated 266,000 pounds of glyphosate has been sprayed on California forests, nearly 5 times more than 2 decades ago, with new spraying planes expanding into ski resorts, campgrounds, trails, and the Tahoe Basin. How did forest management become landscape engineering and ecosystem control for big ag profits? It's a good question, but yeah, they're poisoning the hell out of the forest with the glyphosate there now. A massive investigation just exposed how much Roundup is being sprayed in Northern California's forests. And it's not only in California forests, it's all over the place. We are bombarding America's forest with Roundup. Mother Jones report here. Scientists are wary of glyphosate. Maha loathes it. Well, everybody should loathe it. Like, why do you have to be? It's just so stupid. Like, I'm a living person and I want my ecosystem to not be poisoned and my body to not be poisoned by this glyphosate poison in the Roundup. I mean, only Maha people care about it. Like, really? You know what I mean? So they're talking about, yeah, in a remote Northeast California, and they go through here breaking it all down, all of this glyphosate spraying there on our forest ruckus.
Maha people, does it really say that in the article?
It says that, yeah.
Well, that's Mother Jones for you. Anyways, Maha people, the joke's on Mother Jones, because didn't Mr. Maha himself, RFK Jr., didn't they give like a pass? Like glyphosate people are completely off the hook, right? Right? Yeah, but why are they spraying the forests and the campground? This makes zero sense to me whatsoever. And I'm sure it's something dastardly. I just can't wrap my brain around it, unfortunately. It's been a problem that's been with us for a while, but you add that with whatever they're spraying in the air, and on top of the PFAs, the forever plastic chemical things, they're finding it in testicles and places in your brains and stuff. When babies are born, they're born with it now. It's like crazy. So all these chemicals and things, there's no possible way that that could be causing people to get sick and ill, because we all know that's only caused by bat things, right, Sam?
Bats and rats now.
Yes, of course.
Bats and rats. So yeah, they're spraying the hell out of everything. They say it's for forest management, but I do believe they could find another, a lot of other ways. A lot of other ways. You can see the increased use here in California of Roundup on this chart right here. So yeah, massive escalation there. You can see in the use of Roundup since 2013, and what, around 2018 they just hit the gas on it and went straight up. We're spraying everything for your own good, of course, here now.
You know, by the way, as a marketing and branding guy, that's kind of my bag. Roundup, the name for the product, never, ever made any sense to me. And to this day, I not that I've done a lot of research into it, but I mean, it's like usually the name of something makes sense. You can figure it out on your own. I can't, for the life of me, figure out why they call this crap Roundup.
Forest Service mascot Smokey the Bear, he declared, I'm just reading a little excerpt out of this Mother Jones article, has become a glyphosate junkie. So they've turned Smokey the Bear into a glyphosate junkie, according to this article. It's a chemical addiction that's been fostered inside the agency, the U.S. Forest Service, with the help of Bayer and Monsanto. The system operated for thousands of years without using Roundup. No S, man. But they're saying they need it for the forest management to poison the hell out of everything. It's quite literally insane. If you look further into it, I'm sure you'll find some kickbacks going on. We may have to circle back and take a look at that. Okay. Continuing here on to the mass surveillance, people still aren't processing how insane it is. They're weaponizing the military authority to fast track the largest data center on earth in Utah and using, quote, military operations and national security to shut down any public opposition to it. Diabolical. And again, that's Jason Bassler, Free Thought Project. State authority claims massive data center will benefit Utah military installations. Isn't that where they have the big NSA creepy black spine building in Utah as well there? And so they're trying to roll out. Well, they're not trying, they're doing it, right? They're doing it, building these massive data centers all over the country. But that one in Utah is the biggest yet, like 60 something square miles.
When did they build that one?
It's in the process right now.
With that photo, though, are they showing the NSA one?
Well, I think this is just the beginning, but this is like over 60 square miles for their whole complex. So actually, I don't know where it came from, this ZBS News article. I don't know if that's the actual beginnings of the data center or just a rendering of it. I don't know, but
haha, wouldn't it be funny if these massive data centers they're building are really the FEMA camps? Anyway.
Patriot Act, ALPR networks, FISA 702 renewed, state level digital IDs, age verification systems, facial recognition at TSA, stablecoin Genius Act signed, anti-flock FOIA request legislation, 2027 mandatory AI in-cabin monitoring. The surveillance state isn't coming, it's here. Jason Bassler, Free Thought Project, indeed. Surveillance tools intended for border control are being used against Americans. And then we have some clips of Massey and his interview with Tucker Carlson, but we'll come back with that. Let's take our live commercial break here now. Ruckus says we're at the top of the hour, past it already. Everybody go to weaponizednews.com/shop and get yourself some stickers. We got 3 different style of stickers: the holograph, white background, and clear background. Weaponizednews.com/shop. Become a paid subscriber at Weaponized News Substack. The links are in the description below this video. We take donations as well. Buy me a coffee, Bitcoin wallet address, Cash App. On the front of Weaponized News, PayPal link, any which way you choose to support us is truly appreciated. Weaponizednews.com/shop. Help support independent reporting and analysis brought to you 5 days a week, broadcasting live, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern Time, weaponizednews.com/shop. Check it out and see if you like any of the gear we got over there. Coffee mugs, t-shirts, baseball caps, stickers, a few books over there. Go take a look. Any and all support of this show is truly appreciated. Give us that like, share, subscribe, push that notification button. Of course, all of that is free. Any way you choose to support us, thank you very much out there in the audience. Go ahead and plug away, Ruckus.
Sure. Me and my friends and colleagues do a little thing called Alternate Current Radio. It's mostly my friends and colleagues. I'm just a little bit of a part of it. But of course, that's where you go if you want to check out more Ruckus things. If you're like, hey, I like this Ruckus guy, I don't want to see more of him, you can see, I know there's at least one person in the chat who will pass. Anyways, but you can see my most recent episodes, appearances with Patrick Henningsen on Sunday Wire. This past weekend, my friend and colleague Brian McLean, aka Hesher, guest hosted, and then Patrick Henningsen joined us because I was co-hosting with Hesher. So check that out. Also, we have new episodes of The Boiler Room up. We did one last week and the week before. Our friends and colleagues do the Mystical American Patriot Society, and we've also got this guy, Roundabout Ruckus. That's my podcast bucket for my appearances on other shows, such as the wonderful Weaponized News, right here, right now. So after this show is done, after you've gone and checked it out on Weaponized News and Substack, if you want to check it out again, you go to alternatecurrentradio.com. You can also find out how to reach me or find my X account, which Sam always flashes on the screen. It's AC_wordslinger. Feel free to send me a DM about anything. It's cool. If the DMs decide that it's just spam, don't worry, I won't see it. But if it's a real message from a real person, I will see it and I'll really respond. So look forward to that. And thanks for having me again, Sam. That's it.
Well, thank you for joining us. Give us that like, share, subscribe, push that notification button. All right, welcome back to the second half of Weaponized News on this Thursday, May 7th, 2026 edition. We're just going over the massive surveillance state being built, data centers popping up everywhere. This giant one in Utah. It's crazy. People pushing back against it. Some places they win, but other places their local governments laugh in their face as per usual and go ahead and allow these tech companies to build their data centers. They're using up all the water and energy, but we must be enslaved to technocracy, and so we do applaud it here at Weaponized News. We wouldn't have our dystopic future go any other way. Here's now Thomas Massey on with old Tucker talking about why they're building all this. He says it's for Aardvark land to spy on Americans. And so we do appreciate that because the anti-septics out there are getting too radical.
You have one of the most liberal Democrats in the House, Jamie Raskin of Maryland. You have one of the most conservative Republicans in the House, Jim Jordan of Ohio. But they're on the same side on spying on Americans?
For at least 45 days, they're on the same side.
Well, how could Jim Jordan,
Because, Tucker, bro, I know you got a CIA front to put on, but, bro, it's the government.
Ferociously conservative freedom guy be in favor of spying on Americans without a warrant?
Well, the president told him to.
Yeah, but that's like a core. That's a core
It's
issue.
always been a core issue of his, and in the debate
of his specifically.
Correct. It was a condition of being on the Judiciary Committee when I joined. Like, you had to believe that we needed warrants on FISA, or you couldn't be on the Judiciary Committee that he chaired. That was like the first interview question when you applied for judiciary.
That the Constitution's still real.
Right. And particularly with FISA.
It's not.
702, this particular program. And he battled last Congress ferociously to get warrants. And it came down to a tie vote where Mike Johnson was the deciding vote. And I don't know why, again, because Biden was president, but enough Republicans voted to let Biden have the power to spy on Americans without a warrant.
Because a lot of that information, that intelligence, that's
Republican or Democrat, it's the government are tyrants.
spying on Americans goes directly to Israel, like fact. So,
Absolutely.
Right. So that's what this is really about, is do we allow a foreign country to spy? Does our government make it easier for a foreign country to spy on Americans? It's like the ultimate betrayal.
Another fact, when X decided to show you where accounts were based, where they were set up and where they were operated from, the DHS account showed Israel, that it was set up, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security's X account was set up using an IP address from Israel, using an Android app purchased in Israel.
As it should be.
And that doesn't trouble people. Like, there should be an investigation over why, when the DHS set up its Twitter account, it was set up in Israel. Now, they claim, if you ask Grok about this, he'll walk around the bush with you.
Oh, of course.
And say that, well, there were some glitches back in the old day and there were some contractors involved and you can never get to.
So our natural rights are being violated by our government. The only reason we even have a government is to protect our natural rights on behalf of a foreign country. And it's all wonderful, Ruckus.
And of course, this was such a core issue for Trump that he did a complete 180 on it. Wrap your head around that one.
According to the New York Compost, Palantir backs U.S. military draft. And then, are you going to fall for Project Bluebeam, Ruckus? Are you?
Oh, I'm already falling for it, my friend.
Here's what a preview may look like. Oh, never mind. That was them spying on you. Sorry, that was a different section. I got that one wrong. Oh my gosh! And that was from Forbidden HQ. Where Forbidden on the X.
I really, really hope the alien stuff starts to calm down, because I'm not ready for that one. That is one of the biggest shoe to drop that I have been waiting for a while now. Almost as long as I've been Ruckus, pretty much as long as I've been producing content. This is a topic that I dance around and discuss and have mentioned many times now for a very long time. I don't know if you saw my post about this on X. I thought this was kind of cute. I made myself look like the school guidance counselor from South Park, just to remind everybody to calm down, and that I'm here to tell you UFOs and aliens and why they're bad. Okay, you'll appreciate this, Sam. First of all, government's bad. You shouldn't do government. And aliens are bad. You shouldn't do aliens. As for UFOs, well, UFOs are bad, so you shouldn't do UFOs. Any questions, class? Yeah, so I'm ready. Let's do this thing. I'm preparing some long form content. There's already forming in the alternative sphere and in certain Christian circles a great deception about the Great Deception. So it's like very meta. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. And I mentioned the Collins group earlier. I do encourage folks to just do some quick research into that. Also do a quick touch up on the work of Bill Cooper. Highly recommend that. And then also always, if you haven't yet, watch the documentary Mirage Men. And then turn to your Bible if you're a Bible believer. And then you're going to be fine. But don't listen to the 501c3 Zionist pastors who are going to tell you all about the aliens and guide you through what this means for your salvation path and how this works. And no, it's all garbage already. It's garbage, and I'm not doing it. I'm not doing the fake aliens, Sam. They can not wearing the mask, didn't wear the mask, didn't take the miracle juice, not doing the aliens. Nope.
Well, you're pretty hateful there, Ruckus. Pretty hateful. Here's one of these pastors, another one, Joseph Z says, we were in the private UFO meeting for pastors. No cell phones were allowed in that meeting. Let's hear what this character had to say.
Isn't that convenient, by the way?
My team and I were traveling, and we had an encounter with something that we've never experienced before. And now when I talked about this just recently, many people in our comments feed and through our live broadcast began to ask us to bring it out and show you what we encountered. Now, what we encountered was 6 objects in the sky out in front of the aircraft. We were flying from Tennessee to Colorado Springs, and we began to see 6 objects right there in the sky. And we believe these are UAPs and UFOs. So when we saw this, we just thought to ourselves, my goodness, what in the world are we looking at? How do we grapple with this? It was a very interesting thing. Now, uniquely enough, we were just in a disclosure meeting 2 days before this talking about UFOs, UAPs, all these things, and that there's going to come a great disclosure, even an announcement that we're not alone in the universe, we're not alone, and there's non-human intelligence that is absolutely happening all over, or in the highest offices of the land, or they know about it, that kind of thing. And so when we heard this, I thought, my goodness, this is quite the disclosure meeting. And they were prepping us to be leaders in the space from a biblical perspective, to bring people to the saving knowledge of Jesus and help the church avoid deception and not knowing what to do if they encounter these kind of things.
The government is going to help the church avoid deception. That's what this fool just said. What a lying piece of garbage.
So what we did is we received that information, we began to talk about it. The next day, the president puts out a post that says he has authorized the specific agencies involved to find.
Yeah, almost like all this bullshit is orchestrated and engineered, isn't it?
Find the truth of the matter of aliens, UFOs, UAPs, and all these issues and bring them out to the public. The day after that, we were traveling. This would be February 20th, 2026. We're flying. And as we were flying, we began to see these 6 UFOs appear out in front of us. Now, I've talked to a lot of people about this, and I'm about to show you the footage. But I've talked to a lot of people about it, and some said, well, that's probably just drones over the nation. Others have said, and some of the ones I spoke with are actually some of the highest experts in the area of UFOs, UAPs, non-human intelligence, and the like. And when I spoke with them, they said, well, it could be drones, but it also really could be this other scenario that many people are talking about, and it could be part of this disclosure narrative that's coming forward. So I'll let you determine that. I'll let you use your discernment. We don't have a solid answer on it, but we do know we saw something that kept appearing in the sky as we were flying.
Trust me, bro.
Well, the government doesn't want people at the church to be deceived. That guy's a deceiver. I'm sorry to report to you. If you're in this congregation, I would say step away.
That's probably the most important part of this is like, no matter what happens, just remember the government is going to tell you, and then just stop right there. As soon as, like, just close your ears, your eyes, your brain, turn it off, and then, like, get ready to do some hardcore thinking for yourself. Oh, no. Good luck with that if you've been double, if you're a boosty type of person, we'll just say. This is very, very dangerous stuff because, I don't want to let too much out of the ruckus bag here, but I do believe that there's a it's too obvious, and you're already seeing people are like, nobody's going to believe this. You see it in the comments right now. Nobody believes this garbage. And I'm like, I think that's part of a trick. I really think they want people to think, because unsaved, non-Christian, non-religious folks, they just believe in aliens. They'd be like, oh yeah, whatever. So if they see the UFOs, if they see the aliens, they're like, hey, good enough for me. I see it with my own 2 eyes. I can go and touch this thing, whatever. The Christians who are being fed or led to believe by a vast majority of Christians who believe in UFOs and aliens, oh, these are fallen angels, they're demons. And, oh, you could just make them go away. Just call out the name of Jesus Christ and you'll be fine. Well, what happens if you're not fine? What happens if these things that you're dealing with are actually real UFOs, really made by a real government agency, really made by human beings? And what if these things that you're looking at that are aliens, what if they're flesh and blood, I don't know, synthetic beings that, again, can be created in a lab? This is stuff that they've been working on for decades. I'm just saying, use your brains, people. If the mainstream narrative, if you can read an article that says, "Be careful, Christians, these aliens are really demons," you also have to take that with a huge grain of salt, don't you? I'm just saying. Anyways, I'm sorry, Sam. I'll stop ranting about aliens.
Bill Cooper said it's all man-made. He used to believe it was the green men or whatever, extra ETs, and he said, nah, through his study and hanging out and surveilling Area 51, that it's all human technology. And so that was a long time ago, though. And I do agree with you there, Ruckus. They have these labs creating human animal hybrids. Who knows what kind of creature they've cooked up there in the lab are going to roll out and say, this is a space alien. And no, it's actually some monstrosity that you cooked up on Epstein Island or Dr. Moreau's Island.
Not to mention what they're probably capable of doing to the human brain with all of these chemicals and Wi-Fi signals and all sorts of bizarre. That's the other thing I'm very worried about is people's mental health. So again, if you're a spiritual person, just be spiritually grounded, and whatever happens, you'll be fine.
That's a good segue too. Little Marco Rubio went to threaten the Pope. No, they didn't say he threatened him, but there've been a war of words going on between the White House and the Vatican over the last few months, especially over the Iran war. But little Marco went over there to see the Pope. And so is this part of the briefing to get the Catholics on board with the UFO narrative? It may very well be. So here was their meeting. And then he did give the Pope a gift. Here's the gift that little Marco gave the Pope. He gave him a crystal football. Here's some video of that.
Well, it's easier. This is a baseball guy, but and it has the seal of the State Department. So, it what to get someone who has everything? I thought a crystal.
Other being, of course, plant of peace. There's this the coat of arms here of pontificate here, but.
Are they gifting each other adult sex toys, Sam?
Some could say that. Wowzers. I like to think of it as a paperweight. Ruckus.
That'll work.
Crystal football with a State Department emblem on it there from it looks like they're all meeting up here now to get on message, rolling out the aliens. I don't know how this is going to hit the Catholic Church.
Oh, they're ready. They've been ready for this for a while.
They're primed for it, huh? Well, all signs point toward it's coming. But before that, maybe, I don't know, you want to get a brain chip? Here's a newest from Neuralink. Let's take a look at this video.
The thing that has kept me around Neuralink for a long time and continues to motivate me is bringing our device to a lot of people that have unmet needs.
We are constantly learning new things. We always look at what could be better about this robot. In the long run, we want to build a whole brain interface where you can flexibly insert electrodes anywhere in the brain and solve any problem that originates in someone's brain.
Every problem has a specific location in your brain. If you want to solve motor problems, it's a different region. If you want to solve vision problems, it's a different region.
I think we're going to look back and our grandchildren are going to think it was crazy that somebody could get in a motorcycle accident and never walk again. That's what we're working towards here. And it's all going to be because this robot was able to insert threads that no human could imagine doing on their own.
So just take the brain chip, believe in the bats, the rats, and the aliens, and everything will be fine, Ruckus.
No, and no, it won't.
Okay, on to the rat problem, and we had problems with our public health reporting about the bats, so we're going to keep it light here, but it's being reported now, the first case of Hanta virus in Aardvark land, and so I know, report out of Aardvark post there. And so it turns out there's a lot of 33s in this. The last outbreak was in 1993, a 33-year difference. And then there were 33 cases. And so there's a whole lot of 33 columns going on signaling, wink, wink, those in the know, to trust the World Health Organization, you see. Well, all I can say...
I have a personal attachment to this, the original story from 1993. That was the year just before I graduated high school, and I was finalizing plans to move from New Hampshire to New Mexico because I was planning on attending college in New Mexico. And in 1993, this hantavirus thing was huge. It was a huge nationwide story, and my mom, God rest her soul, she was trying her hardest. She didn't want me to leave New Hampshire. She said, see, you want to move out there to that state, because this happened in New Mexico. It was in the Four Corners region. So it affected people in like Arizona and other places, but the big news was all in New Mexico. So my mom was like, oh, don't go there. They got that scary virus. This was a big news story back in the day. And then, of course, it was also the real life story about this inspired a fictional episode a few years later on the X-Files that they titled Hantavirus. So you probably have seen clips playing around online now of that. But that episode was inspired by the real hantavirus story. And then now here it is, just popped out of nowhere, like, oh, hantavirus again. Who the heck remembers hantavirus? I'm like, I do. Yeah, I remember this bad boy. Back in the day, it was from mice or rats peeing. They said they were peeing on the pinion nuts or in the nests, and people were breathing the odor, and that's it. But it was like, you can't get it unless it's direct contact with that stuff. Now this new one they're saying is like this. They have a fancy name for it already, a mutant strain that can be transmitted from human to human. But I'm just like, well, where's this originating from? Because it was 3 people on a cruise ship, but now it's all the way out in Aardvark land. Something's not adding up here. And then they're using 33s and intentionally, right?
No questioning. No? Just listen to the World Health Organization. We've had problems.
Trust the science.
We've had problems in the past questioning the narrative around public health bat time. So all I'm going to do is let you know how they're diagnosing this, and it's with the PCR test. And here is Carrie Mullis, inventor of PCR, explaining exactly how the PCR test works. And then you're on your own as far as this one goes to come up with your own conclusions about what all this means. Carrie Mullis deceased, by the way, conveniently enough, right before the bat times kicked off. And he was publicly challenging Dr. Fauci about the science all the time.
To Carrie, how do they misuse PCR to estimate all these supposed free viral RNAs that may or may not be there?
I think misuse PCR is not quite. I don't think you can misuse PCR. Actually, no, the results, the interpretation of it. See, if you can say. If they could find this virus in you at all, and with PCR, if you do it well, you can find almost anything in anybody. It starts making you believe in the sort of Buddhist notion that everything is contained in everything else, right? I mean, because if you can amplify one single molecule up to something that you can really measure, which PCR can do, then there's just very few molecules that you don't have at least one single one of them in your body. Okay, so that could be thought of as a misuse of it, just to claim that it's meaningful. But the real misuse of it is you don't need to test for HIV. You don't need to test for the other 10,000 retroviruses that are unnamed, also in the subject. See, somebody that's got HIV generally is going to have almost anything that you can test for, because they have definitely been. HIV is a fairly rare virus. There's only 1 million of us out of 250, 300 million people in America that have that virus. So you have to get around, either your mother had to have it and pass it to you, or you have to really be paying a lot of attention to people that do have it and paying only attention to them, and get a pretty good chance of getting it that way. It's hard to get it, but if you have it, there's a good chance you've also got a lot of other ones, because you've been in the market for it's been possible for you to get a lot of. To test for that one and say that has any special meaning is what I think is the problem. Not that PCR has been misused. It's like it's not an estimation. No, it's a really quantitative thing. tells you something about nature and about what's there, but it allows you to take a very minuscule amount of anything and make it measurable, and then talk about it in meetings and stuff like it is important. See, that's not a misuse, that's just sort of a misinterpretation.
Even after all these PCR, this quantitative PCR, that if you just get down to a basic virological count, it's still 1 in 1,000 to 1 in 10,000 HIV, and 1 to 1 in 1,000, 1 in 500 to 1 in 1,000 T cells.
It is. No, there's very little of what they call HIV, and what's been brought out here by Philpott and Isaiah already. The measurement for it is not exact at all. It's not as good as our measurement for things like apples. An apple is an apple. You know, you can get something that's kind of like, if you got enough things that look kind of like an apple and you stick them all together, you might think it's an apple. But and HIV is like that. Those tests are all based on things that are invisible, and the results are inferred in a sense. PCR is separate from that. It's just a process that's used to make a whole lot of something out of something. That's what it is. But it's not. It doesn't tell you that you're sick, and it doesn't tell you that the thing you ended up with really was going to hurt you or anything like that. That's what it's not.
So even if you believe in HIV, it can.
And all
But it's good enough to stay at home, right?
All I can say is that they're using the PCR test today to make these diagnoses. And so make of it what you will there. Okay, continuing. We love the World Health Organization. We hate Trump, and Putin's the most evil man in the world. There you go, YouTube. We checked all the boxes. Okay, one of my favorite parts of the show here, Ruckus. Let's take a look now at this occultism going on at the Met Gala. Quite striking, actually. Report out of Vigilant Citizen. Let's take a look here now. As the rich are over there at the Met Gala with these ridiculous outfits. Madonna here. How many? She had a bunch of people holding this thing up. So she was the star, I guess.
Hers was that's modeled after a particular artist who I don't know the name. It's probably in the article, but the artist is a practicing witch. Just a fun fact.
Mocking the coming famine here now with the skeleton dress there on Beyonce. And so how is I mean, there it is, mocking starving people essentially. And the coming
I'm a very
famine.
skinny guy. That one personal, actually.
Well, she's wearing these skeleton dress there, essentially skeletal outfit, mocking those starving to death in this world and mocking the coming famine. This one, they're modeling it off of paintings. Here now, the execution of Lady Jane Grey is what this outfit was modeled off of, this painting. You can see there.
That was the chick who played Snow White, and to rave reviews, apparently. But she did something weird with her jaw that everyone was focusing on. I saw clips of that. Very weird.
Rachel Zegler.
That's her.
That's her. And it gets more bizarre. Cardi B here dressed as a deformed sex doll, of course. And it's based
She
on...
said she was intestines or something.
Based on this model, Vigilant Citizen is saying Cardi B's baffling outfit was inspired by Hans Belmer's The Doll, a life-size sculpture of a hypersexualized woman made of 2 hips and 2 vaginas. Cardi B made sure to replicate the camel toe emphasis.
I think I missed something somewhere, but we'll just go with that.
More about these weird young girl dolls, right? Right there. There is the black dress worn by Madonna. and it's emulating this. Madonna's display was inspired by Lorena Carrington's painting The Temptation of St. Anthony. They are staying on theme there. And this one, mocking mocking those trying to afford a gallon of gas here. Actress Sarah Paulson walked around with a dollar bill on her face. There was little holes poked in it so she could see through.
That's how you keep yourself safe from the rat thing, Sam.
Ah, I see. These are some older ones, I believe. MK Ultra culture. That's the thumbnail here, and yeah, MK Ultra style. Janelle wore a dress adorned with wires and monarch butterflies. Pure monarch programming symbolism. Of course, part of MK Ultra, trauma-based mind control program there, interwoven with transhumanism. Wowzers. And then Katy Perry, one of our favorite astronauts. She donned a chromed out mask while waving her glove. And so signaling monarch programming. Their MK or masks are used on MK Ultra slaves for depersonalization and the erasure of their core persona. And so showing everybody there.
Did you say that was Katy Perry? Do you mean the Katy Perry who's the girlfriend of Justin Trudeau? That Katy Perry?
That same Katy Perry, yes. She's
wow.
Yeah, flashing the MK Ultra monarch programming right there. This one, Gwendolyn Christie walked around with a symbolic accessory, a mask that is made to look like a perfect way of representing an MK's slave's alter persona. Right there. Wowzers. And they're just throwing it in your face. Throwing it in your face. Singer Maria Zardoya walked around with a porcelain doll that looks like her, another way of representing a slave's core persona. Grabby hands all over right there, you could see. Grabby hands. A classic artwork, the creation of Adam. That's what inspired.
No relation.
That's what inspired that, allegedly. Bizarre here. Jordan Roth is the son of billionaire real estate developer Stephen Roth and is now head of ATG Entertainment. For this elite gathering, he wore a dress from which a creepy entity emerges and looms above his head. They love this kind of imagery. It simultaneously represents the elite looming over its slaves and demonic entities possessing people's souls.
Wait, that one was a dude?
This is a man, Jordan Roth, allegedly. Him,
Alrighty.
them, they, yeah. And so with the entity there.
See, guys, you got to be careful. You walk into a bar and you see what you think is a woman dressed like that, and you're like, wow, hubba, hubba, hubba. But be careful. It's really a man.
Anya Burla is the daughter of Indian industrialist Kamar Burla, whose net worth is currently over $23 billion. For the Met Gala, she wore this mask made of utensils or whatever. No matter what kitchen appliance was used to make this mask, there's only one word that comes to mind: when you look at this picture, evil. They're just being mean, right? She looks very kind there, very kind. And of course, the flashback to the famous 1972 Rothschild ball with their extremely bizarre outfits. What do you think about this, Ruckus? This is extremely disturbing, is it not?
I think rich people, extremely rich people, have an exorbitant amount of extra time and money on their hands, and this is a fine example of what they choose to do with it. And yeah, which is a nice reminder. Why would we want to listen to these types of people about anything? Spiritual guidance, politics. People like to listen to these people for their politics for some strange reason. But there you have it, everybody. They are a bunch of freaking weirdos. Okay. Period. I don't care what you think or what you believe. The symbol, like, who does this? Do you look around your circle of friends, your family, and people that you work with? Like, do you know anyone who would do this kind of thing? I bet you don't. And good on you. And if you do, shame on you.
They're throwing the mind control program in everybody's face right here. It's very real, and you better believe they're doing it. Creating mind control slaves. All right, continuing here, Nancy Mace, reminder, said 357 members of Congress voted to kill her resolution to release the sexual harassment files of Congress. Reminder there.
That's the one with the secret hush fund that was paid for by the U.S. taxpayer dollars, right?
Yep.
Cool.
The Palm Beach police had 53 witnesses in 2006. The FBI took over the case in 2007 and cut it down to 4 witnesses. Alex Acosta's office signed the secret plea deal with 0 victim input, or as Dan Bongino's 0. And that, of course, is the Epstein case. Marvin Minsky was the founder of was a founder of AI and cognitive science. Epstein flew him to his island. A victim testified she was directed to have sex with him on Epstein's island. MIT kept him on faculty until his death in 2016. And here's Massey and another clip from Massey and Tucker talking about Trump is going to seek retribution against those in Congress that voted for the Epstein Files Transparency Act, because
for taking on those threats, Lauren Boebert, they took her over to the Situation Room, right? Like, this is where, if they're trying to kill or capture Osama bin Laden, this is where they are at the White House. They took her into the Situation Room and tried to whip her into taking her name off of the discharge petition.
Over Epstein.
Over Epstein, yep. And then the president vetoed a bill that would have brought water to a large portion of Colorado.
Over Epstein.
Over Epstein. And this isn't even, at this point, it's not just about Lauren Boebert. Why are people in Colorado deprived of water? Because their representative wants to expose a sex trafficking ring.
I mean,
so you should be thankful, Colorado, that you're dehydrated now and in a drought because Trump's covering up his ties with Epstein. Amazing stuff there.
Well, we wouldn't want his friends to get hurt.
So by Democrats' account on the House Oversight Committee yesterday, Howard Lutnick went in there for a deposition and told him a whole bunch of lies. And so, as per usual there, out of Howard Lutnick. And that's all the Epstein reporting for today. Onto the economic section, the billionaires behind the most expensive midterm elections in history. That's why it's total bullshit, right? Jeff Yass, the billionaire founder of market-making firm Susquehanna International Group, has been busy this election season giving more than $80 million so far to midterm candidates and causes, report out of Bloomberg. And they go through a big old list of all these giant donors. So, here's a little graph they cooked up. And of course, leading the charge is old George Soros, as per usual. And so this is why our politics are total bullshit right here. What is it? Citizens United. They need to definitely repeal that. The moguls pouring money into U.S. politics. Biggest individual donors to federal committees in the 2026 election cycle. Soros, Elon Musk, Yas. You can see, go down the list there. Miriam Adelson, of course, we need to do what she says just because of her aardvarkism. But there you go. Why American politics is shit. A big part of it anyway, right there.
Hey, speaking of moguls, R.I.P. Ted Turner.
Yeah. Ted Turner died yesterday. He a major advocate for world depopulation. And so he added himself to that. And so
he also basically created the 24-hour news cycle single-handedly, basically. Anyways.
Indeed. Here's comedian Jim Brewer talking about NASA. He's pointing out something that most people missed.
Of course we didn't go to the moon. Listen to what he says right in your face.
This is the first time we're going to send humans to the moon, and we're going to have humans in low Earth orbit. That is awesome. Like, we should, as humanity, we should take a brief moment to go, that's awesome. One of the things that we most asked for and look forward to is we are going to do a crew conference between Integrity and the International Space Station, the crew that's up there.
You're going to tell me a guy from NASA said, this is our first time going to the moon, and nobody corrected it? So then it brings you back to, of course we didn't go to the moon. I know some of you want to hold on to and believe everything you've seen on television, blah, blah, blah. It didn't happen. How do you explain what this banana just said?
It's our first time on the moon. It's pretty awesome. Our first time, man.
He said it right in your face.
He did say it right there. Hey, we're going to throw a whole bunch of money at this BS. Here's head of NASA. He says, back to the moon, building a moon base, unlocking water ice, expanding humanity's reach into the cosmos. Keep this in mind as you're trying to afford fuel for your vehicle to go to work.
It is absolutely our destiny to go out and venture and explore across the last great frontier. And for the last 25 years, we've been doing some extraordinary things. We have kept human beings alive above us in low Earth orbit for 25 years. You're 25 years or younger in this world. You've never lived at a time where you didn't have an American astronaut orbiting above you. But I'll tell you, the next step is to go out further. It's to return to the moon. It's to pick up where Apollo 17 left off, not just for the flags and footprints. President Trump said, we are going back to stay.
Even on to say build a moon base. It's not just for flags and footprints this time, Ruckus. We're going to build a moon base.
It's amazing that these same exact people who are like, we need to go ahead and spread the joy of humanity to the entire cosmos are the same people that want to shame humanity for being dirty meat eaters who pollute the planet, and we should all just like be social credited, scored to death, right? It's the same people. These are the same people. Like, either we suck, we're so bad, or we're so great we need to go spread ourselves all over the universe. It can't be both, okay? Just pointing that out.
They love to have it both ways. Campaign staff are gaming prediction markets using internal data to make timely bets on their candidates winning thousands of dollars, according to a report on NPR. Everything's gamed, rigged. And then when you call them on this, they'll scream democracy in your face. They're a pack of criminals.
I'm just feeling left out. I'm like, man, it seems so easy. These people are making it look so easy to just make a crap ton of money off of all this stuff. And I'm just like, what? I'm like a cat watching a ping pong game here. It's crazy.
Democracy, Ruckus. Democracy.
Gotcha. Trust in President Trump, right?
Foreclosure filings jumped to 6-year high as a rising poverty, property taxes, insurance costs, and debt strain U.S. homeowners. Wall Street Journal. Reportedly, the war in Iran is causing a shortage of Diet Coke. And so that may be a good thing, actually, with the aspartame there. Look into
Oh, this will wake some people up for sure, Sam. People are going to start to feel it now.
They're strung out on Diet Coke, addicted to aspartame.
Is that the one that Elon Musk drinks? Somebody better check me on this one.
I believe it is.
Oh, see, now you're going too far here. Like, it's all fun and games until you cut off Elon Musk's Diet Coke. You watch.
IMF warns new AI models risk, quote, systemic shock to the financial system, according to Financial Times. Well, what do you do with the drunken Hegseth? You give them $1.5 trillion war budget. And that's exactly what he got. Thanks to President Trump's $1.5 trillion defense budget, this War Department has moved from bureaucracy to business. This is a physically responsible investment in our arsenal of freedom. This clown saying this. Here's the post from Secretary of War Hegseth. It's just, these people are disconnected from the rest of us here now. It's $1.5 trillion defense budget is physically responsible, he's saying, when the debt to GDP is 100%. We're paying what is it, over 20 billion a month or a week in interest on the national debt. And it's just like, dude, Secretary of State little Marco Rubio, but hey, the military industrial complex is making money, and that's really all that matters, right? Google. Secretary of State little Marco Rubio.
Wait a minute, they're not going to pass an audit, Sam. You know this. You're a numbers guy,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
so they're the Department of
promised
War.
they will. He said that he promised they will.
No. Just right out of the gate, they're the Department of War, and this is the defense budget. So see, there's already a giant disconnect here. Just want to point that out.
It's going to cost like 500 something million to officially change the name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War, and they have no problem spending your taxpayer money in that way. Little Marco Rubio approved $25.8 billion in emergency weapon sales to Bahrain, Aardvark land. Of course, we should just give it to them with sales. But come on, man. Kuwait, Qatar, and UAE triple the $8.6 billion initially disclosed. That's a report out of Bloomberg. Oh my gosh, it just goes on. The corruption goes on and on and on. Remember this. Remember in November, if you're one of those voters, I will not be, but if you are, remember this from Trump yesterday.
20%, and we're up. The stock market's higher now than when we started this war. And I thought oil prices would go to $200, $250. It's at $100 now. And I think you're surprised, and I'm surprised. But even if it went to 200, it would have been worth it. I understand that. We had just said 20%, and we're up.
It would have been worth it. It may still go to 200 here now. Well-timed oil bets ahead of major Iran war announcements totaled at least $7 billion, far exceeding earlier estimates, according to a report out of Reuters. The trades spanning crude, gasoline, and diesel futures across multiple exchanges in March and April, and were always done before announcements by Trump. The traders made billions of dollars.
They're just really smart people, Sam. They're probably leveraging the power of AI, which from what I understand is very good at picking stocks. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Anyway.
The Department of Justice that's continuing the Epstein files cover-up announced it's investigating more than $2.6 billion in oil trades. And so they'll investigate themselves and find no wrongdoing. And so we shouldn't even think any of this is unusual whatsoever. Shell has said the global oil market is facing a growing supply shortfall nearing 1 billion barrels, with a deficit expanding each day. Yeah, a famine is baked into the cake here now. And so millions in the third and fourth world will starve to death. Tens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, millions of people will be pushed back into poverty if they're not already in it now around the world, according to UN reports. Here's the average for a gallon of gasoline, the price here, according to AAA's national average that we cover every day. And we've seen a massive increase up to $4.55, 50, you could round it up to 56 cents there. On average, over here in California, I don't drive anymore. I walk. It's $6.16, rounded up to 17 there, $6.17. And again, the difference between the average and California is California tax and regulations. But my gosh, Ruckus, this is, and all this is going to be passed through to the consumer. And this is not even talking about the price of diesel, pushing well over $7 here in California. And I'd say well over $5 on average in much of the nation. And so all of that transport cost of diesel is going to be passed on to the consumers.
Well, you know, it's a good thing that Trump has been playing a long game of 7D chess. You were not aware of this, Sam. Breaking news. I'm going to tell you all here on Weaponized News. You heard it here first, and probably only here. Trump knew that this was going to happen, and forward thinking, he knew. So he made sure all of the MAGA hats are made out of a very special, highly dense, protein-packed fiber that when the starvation comes, as long as you were a MAGA supporter and you didn't burn your hat, you're going to be okay. So shame on you if you guys already gave up on MAGA. You should have kept that hat. It's going to keep you alive. True story, though. People during hard times when they were starving to death were like eating clothing, mostly leather. Leather was very popular back in the day. So unfortunately, a lot of the things these days is called pleather, which is made out of plastic, which is made out of oil. Wrap your head around that one. But you probably can't eat it. But anyways.
Ignore the panicans and trust in President Trump.
Too bad she's on maternity leave. Okay. Here's your corporate fascist government, Ruckus. Trump administration.
My corporate fascist government?
Yours and mine. All
Oh,
America's.
okay.
America's.
Oh, all right. Gotcha.
Trump administration plans to invite CEOs from NVIDIA, Apple, Exxon on his trip to China. So literally corporate fascist government. You have the technocracy, military-industrial complex, and the Rockefeller oil oligarchs all rolled into one there.
They're a bunch of fun people, aren't they? Doesn't get much more American than that. Throw in some baseballs, some apple pie, and some Epstein files. We're good to go. Yeehaw.
They're the good guys.
Did I say Epstein files? I meant to say football. Sorry, Freudian slip.
Trump had a call, he says, earlier today with European Commissioner van der Leyen, where he says they discussed numerous topics. And of course, Iran can never have a nuke. We agreed that a regime that kills its own people cannot control a bomb that can kill millions. But Trump, my gosh, I've been waiting patiently for the EU to fulfill their side of the historic trade deal with agreement in Turnberry, Scotland, the largest trade deal ever. A promise was made that the EU would deliver their side of the deal and, as per agreement, cut their tariffs to zero. I agreed to give her until our country's 250th birthday, or unfortunately, their tariffs would immediately jump to much higher levels.
That's funny because we're doing the Operation Freedom now. Isn't when Trump issued the very first round of tariffs, wasn't that called Freedom Day?
It's called Liberation Day.
That's what it was. Thank you. All right.
And we are liberating the Iranian people of their lives. So it all kind of ties together. Meta-backed Scale AI announces $50 million Pentagon contract.
Oh no, I hope not.
Meta-backed Scale AI announced yesterday that it had
I've used Facebook's AI. We're in some serious trouble, people. That is like the lowest grade, dumbest, like cheap bargain bin AI you can find on the planet. Come at me, bros. It's all good.
Metascale AI signed a $500 million contract with the Pentagon's Chief Digital and Artificial Intelligence Office to help analyze data and support military decision making, marking a 5-fold increase from the company's previous $100 million defense deal signed in September of last year. Excuse me. So, yeah.
Well, this is good news for Iran, because we're clearly not going to be getting close to winning this thing anytime soon now. Way to go.
Is it good news for China, too, in the AI race?
I know. I'm just thinking China's probably laughing so hard at us right now. I shudder to think what they're probably just all laughing at us right now.
So we're at some old ones up here. Let's see. Department of War. Department of War is, they're doing a bunch of operations as we continue to report in Central South America. They're doing operations in Argentina, in El Salvador, in Ecuador, all over Central South America, building the greater North America project here now, Ruckus.
So many operations, and not a single one of them is a licensed doctor or surgeon, Sam. Shocking.
You could go to their page, and there's just operation after operation. There's a lot of operations going on right now.
Such a cool sounding word, kids, right? Like, I took part in this operation, me and the boys and the squad. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jungle training is going on in Panama right now, as well as part of Operation Southern Sphere.
Are there a lot of jungles in Persia?
There's no, but we're gearing up to go ahead and invade Cuba. I don't know how.
Oh, that's right.
Here's meme of the day from the Department of War: American innovation. We blew up all of our $1 million equipment. Now we're moving down the line here to some more affordable stuff to blow up there.
Was that a paper airplane?
No, I think that's the Lucas drone there, actually. Venezuela loves that we stole their oil, stole their gold, kidnapped their president. They love it. Here's Energy Secretary Chris Wright telling us how wonderful it all really is. And Cuba's next, by the way. Oh, what the heck happened there? There we go.
Really, sort of phase one was stabilization. Phase two is trying to get some economic institutions in place. They still do not have a functional banking system. It is still a very poor country that's struggling. Growing oil production is a huge boost to the Venezuelan economy. It draws dollars and economic activity into Venezuela. We want to continue to see that move forward. There is a lot of change. 25 years of corrupt communist dictatorship, that'll ruin any society. Yeah. So there's a lot of healing to go, Dana, but I think we're heading the right direction. And I think during this Trump administration...
Have they took a look at American society lately?
I don't think that man knows what either of those two words means, let alone put together. Communist and dictatorship. That was rich to me. I don't has anyone heard from anyone from Venezuela? Has there been any sign of life? Do we need to do a welfare check on Venezuela? I mean, like there's no official representation of their government. There's no official media. There's no nothing. There's no people on social media. There's nobody's flying over there to ask the people, how you doing? Like, seriously, there's nothing. We just get like whatever our government says is happening. That's probably not good. I'm very concerned now for the Venezuelan people and the Cubans next, Sam.
Little Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, earlier today said issuing sanctions against Cuba. And so he said in this post, the Trump administration will not stand by while Cuba's communist regime threatens our national security in our hemisphere.
And they do that how?
We will continue to take action until the regime takes all necessary political and economic reforms. Talking about sanctions issued against Cuba's communist regime. They're a threat to our national security, Ruckus.
Our government is so mafia. It's so mafia. It's crazy. That's all it is. I mean,
straight up organized crime. It's straight up organized
everything
crime.
out of it, and that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's straight up organized crime. And Cuba needs to come under our control to build the greater North American project, i.e. the North American Technate. But the new name, according to the Department of War, is the Greater North America. So that's.
I hope not. I think we're really just shadowing Aardvark land. They're like, oh well, this is what they're doing. We're gonna do it too. We're like Iron Dome, Golden Dome, Greater Aardvark Land Project, Greater North America Project. Yeah, sounds good. Starting wars by bombing school children. We'll take that one.
The U.S. sanctions Cuba's military conglomerate, GAESA, as UN experts warn the U.S. naval blockade, it amounts to, quote, energy starvation of the Cuban people.
And I guess this is okay. Cuban brothers and sisters will be joining you soon enough in that starvation game. Well, yeah, don't worry.
We're getting price gouged big time. None of our oil, allegedly, according to the White House, even comes through the Strait of Hormuz or from any of those. We're energy independent, bro, and we just stole all of Venezuela's oil, bro. Why the hell are our gas prices so high? Because they're price gouging the hell out of us.
No, it's Biden's fault. I'm pretty sure it's Biden's fault.
I blame Biden and was it Buttigieg, the former press, or was he a transportation secretary? It's their fault. Sure it is. Spanish Prime Minister awards Francesca Albanese Order of Civil Merit from Spain. And so instead of sanctioning her and threatening to drone her, Spain is giving her civil merit awards.
I support that.
Here they are getting their little civil merit award there. Report out of the cradle. Yeah, well, he needs to be sanctioned and droned. Freaking Pedro Sanchez.
We're watching you, Pedro.
So it looks like by many different reports out there that Iran blowing up these radar stations actually shot down the weather weapons that were using against them. Here's another report. Iraq's marshes have begun recovering after years of severe drought. And so here's some images from Iraq. And now they have an ecosystem that's come back to life. Turns out when you stop using the HARP weather warfare type systems against them, then they can actually have some type of, ecosystem and nature going on there. And so, yeah, terrorist water buffaloes running around Iraq once again. Ruckus, quite amazing.
Wish there was a way to quantify this and truly study this, because this is absolutely fascinating. And clearly, the conspiracy theory is the idea is that okay, yeah, they took down these installations that were causing bad weather or not weather to have, like whatever, it was interfering with their weather somehow, and then now that they're gone, they've got the good stuff again. And I'm just like, I wish I knew to what degree of what things were destroyed and were those things intentionally causing this harm, or Is it like, because I have this wild theory that all of the things that we surround ourselves with, all this modern technology and the electricity and the humming and the noise and the Wi-Fi, like all of these things we don't quite understand. Life is very much electrical signals and vibrations and stuff like that. So I'm just like, man, I wish there was a way to know, did they have things there that were purposely hindering the weather, or was that just a side effect of having these massive military industrial complex there? And could we see a similar thing happen with, like, say, the data centers? Again, I just wish there was a way to quantify this. But as a case study, right, from what it looks like, I mean, cheese and crackers, either way, congratulations, because clearly something bad was going on and now it's not. So good on you.
Iran said that they were
I know what they say.
America was attacking them with weather weapons, and they blew up said weather weapons, and now.
But America says that's not a thing. It's not real. It doesn't exist.
True.
So.
Very true. They're bombing the hell out of southern Lebanon. Ongoing campaign. We have a bunch of videos of it. I don't know why even show the video. It's piles of rubble. I mean, it's disgusting. They're blowing the hell out of the place, leveling the place. We show it every day. I don't even feel like showing the videos and images anymore. It's just piles of rubble. Earlier today, Aardvark Land double tap strike on rescue team there in Lebanon, killing 4 paramedics. They're blowing up all their infrastructure of Lebanon now. Same routine they did in Gaza, creating an apocalyptic wasteland, targeting their hospitals, their emergency response systems, blowing up ambulances, killing the first responders, the paramedics, killing doctors, blowing up hospitals. I guess they're going to target schools next. They're in Lebanon, bombing downtown Beirut earlier today as well, continuing operations there. Hezbollah has launched 5 operations in response to Aardvark Land's violation of the ceasefire, which there's been no ceasefire. So Hezbollah is fighting back there. Here's a video put out by Hezbollah in the title, and they titled this video, "We Will Hunt You Down." Let's take a look at this short clip with a golden eagle in it. And so they know some symbology usage as well. And that's a Hezbollah production titled "We Will Hunt You Down." I like how they threw in some lizards in there. I guess that was pretty good stuff. Oh my gosh. Part of the information war. So they're leveling Lebanon. At least 2,727 people in Lebanon have been killed and 8,438 wounded since Aardvark Land went in heavy on March 2nd. And yeah, it's real bad. It's real bad what they're doing there in southern Lebanon. And they're strategic strikes all the way up in Beirut. All sides are suffering here now. Just stop it, guys. I know they won't, but I'm praying they will. I'm praying they will. I know they won't. All sides and everybody in between, stop it, because a lot of innocent civilians, men, women, and children especially, are getting killed in all of this. 10 Aardvark Land soldiers reported wounded in battles with Hezbollah earlier today. And so all sides are suffering casualties, deaths. It's hell. War is hell. It literally is. If you're in the middle of a hot war, it is hell. In Gaza, the genocide continues here now. Aardvark Land strikes kill 3 security personnel in Gaza City and whacking the ambulances again. That's the routine. So you have no support for anybody injured at all because they're blowing up all the medical infrastructure there. At least another report here. These are out of Drop Site News. At least 4 Palestinians have been killed across Gaza in the last 24 hours, essentially. So we're stacking up the numbers here. According to the Gaza Ministry of Health, 9 Palestinians have been killed in the last 24 hours. 6 initially, and then 3 were wounded and died, totaling up 9. And also 39 injured Palestinians reported by the Gaza Ministry of Health in the last 24 hours. And allegedly they're under a ceasefire, Ruckus.
Allegedly, ceasefire. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That means that your side ceases while we still fire, right?
That's what it looks like. That's what is going on here now. That is exactly what's going on. ADL's latest antiseptic incidences reports counts large numbers of political expressions opposing Aardvark land genocide in Gaza, Zionism, and U.S. support for Aardvark land as antiseptic acts, despite ADL claims that criticism of Aardvark land alone does not count as antisepticism. Wouldn't you know that? And that's a report out of...
Wake me up when the New Testament is anti-Semitic, which is probably coming soon to a country near you.
Here's Greenblatt, head of the ADL on CNN.
We mentioned that there was a sizable drop in 2025 from the number of incidents reported in 2024, which is some good news in this. What do you attribute that to?
Look, that is good news, and we welcome the fact that the overall incidents are down 33%. It's attributed to a few things, Jake. Number one, college campuses. We saw a 2/3 drop on college campuses year over year. I think that's a function of the fact that campuses started enforcing their policies, instituting new rules, part because of pressure from the White House, part because of oversight from Congress, part because of pressure from groups like ADL with our campus report card that held them accountable. You also saw less white supremacist propaganda drops. You also saw less bomb threats. So there's some...
What about the Southern Poverty Lie Center propping up all the white supremacy around the country? Oh, he left that part out of his report there. Yeah, so being anti-war is considered antiseptic to the ADL.
Good enough for me.
That's where we're at in this country. Truly, truly disgusting. And oh yeah,
I
by the way,
like what he did. He did that little that cocky Chad locker room thing with the tongue in his cheek before he started talking. Jonathan Greenblatt's a total D-bag. Anyway, sorry.
Did I hear some hate there?
No, I love that guy.
Oh.
He's great.
Okay.
We only hate Trump here, YouTube.
Oh my gosh. Ted Cruz is going to GOP mega donor Miriam Adelson's house today to accept an award for his service to Aardvark land. That's reported by Information Liberation. Like, you can't make this stuff up, dude. Like, oh my God. It's just treason in your face, dude, at this point. Like, seriously? Seriously? He's going to receive the Defender of Aardvark Land Award for his lifelong commitment to the U.S. Aardvark land relationship.
Fantastic.
There's the flyer for it. Aardvark American Council right there.
It's a gala, but not to be confused with the Met Gala.
See that gala there at the... Oh my gosh. It's just so over the top ridiculous at this point. You
give them an inch, they're taking all these miles, aren't they?
They are. The
almost like there was something that we all collectively kind of did 6 years ago that kind of gave these types of people a free pass, you know? Not us, specifically you who's watching the show or us on air, but you know what I'm talking about. Collectively, as a world, we kind of failed a very important test, I'm just saying.
Mass formation psychosis, yeah. Okay. The ultra-Zionist settlers are complete maniacs, psychopaths, running around killing people, destroying their property, livestock, agriculture in the occupied West Bank, in Jerusalem. Now they're calling for the same program in Lebanon. So here's this, the head of the Aardvark settler program, one of the leading figures, Danella Weiss, recently declared that Lebanon and Gaza are the next frontiers for Aardvark land occupation. Let's see this short clip. So Lebanon is getting their land stolen right now. Ethnic cleansing genocide program.
We will settle Gaza. We will settle Lebanon. We will settle the entire promised land. Thank you very much.
And of course, she's talking about the Greater Aardvark Land project there. And they're going to go ahead and take a little bit of Syria as well. Here's Finance Minister Smotrich. He says this war must end with changing the borders of the state of Aardvark land. So aren't you happy we're in this war with Iran? You're paying all this for fuel. So Aardvark land can expand its borders in Gaza, in Lebanon, and in Syria. He says the whole routine, and of course, in the West Bank. Our whole, our favorite arch villain, Smotrich, right there. So he says the quiet part out loud on a daily basis here now that they're taking Gaza, Lebanon, and Syria, and of course the West Bank. They're taking it all, Ruckus.
It's okay for him to say that, though. But it's not okay for us to insinuate that that's what they want to do, right?
It's not okay for us to say it's wrong.
Oh, there we go. They can do it. We just can't say you shouldn't do it. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then go for it, buddy.
I guess we can't even say that they're doing it, even though you could say, here's dude. Here's a finance minister saying.
Yeah, we're not even supposed to talk about it, right? just the fact we got out of bed today, Sam, we're already antiseptic, right?
Feels that
not
way.
have woken up today. What are you thinking?
Oh man! And then our last report of the day here at Ruckus, very extremely disturbing. We've reported on this in the past when it first broke, but here's one of these Palestinian prisoners. I'm surprised they didn't whack him. They let him out, actually, talking about himself in custody being raped. And so let's watch this interview he did with Al Jazeera. Quite horrific there, as that's a form of punishment in Aardvark land prison, is for them to rape you with dogs and attack you with dogs. It's quite barbarous. And that's the things they say about the Arabs is how they act. I know, shocking.
For many Palestinians released from Israeli detention, survival was only the beginning of another battle, a battle against fear, shame, and memories they say continue to imprison them long after returning home to Gaza. Muhammad al-Bakri says the pain begins every night when the memories return.
We were begging them to stop. We were screaming, asking them to leave us, but the soldiers were laughing.
Arrested during Israeli military operations in Gaza in 2024, the Palestinian detainee was transferred through several Israeli detention centers before ending up in a prison in East Jerusalem. For months, he says he remained blindfolded and handcuffed alongside other detainees, cut off from the world outside. Then came the night before Eid al-Fitr. Already weakened by diabetes, Muhammad says Israeli soldiers stripped him naked, unleashed trained dogs on him, and later sexually assaulted him with a plastic penetrating object.
They first handcuffed our hands in front of us. When the rape began, they forced our hands behind our backs, stripped us naked, and threw us onto the floor. Dogs were unleashed on us and viciously attacked us. One of them was extremely large. Some soldiers also used sexual objects during the assault.
But prison, Muhammad says, did not deliver the deepest shock. After his release, he returned to Gaza only to discover that his wife had been killed. A loss, he says, broke what remained of him. 17-year-old Ahmed was detained near an aid distribution point run by the notorious Gaza Humanitarian Foundation in Rafah while trying to bring food for his hungry family. Instead of returning with a flower, Ahmed returned carrying fear and trauma. He says he endured degrading sexual abuse during detention. His family asked us to conceal his identity, fearing bullying and social stigma.
Israeli female soldiers suddenly arrived and handcuffed us. They stripped us completely and restrained our legs with metal. I was confined in a very small space, and then 8 female soldiers appeared fully naked and started to touch sensitive organs in my body. They filmed us and forced us to repeat degrading sexual words.
The Euromed Human Rights Monitor says these testimonies are part of a broader and systematic pattern. In its report titled Another Genocide Behind Walls, the organization documented accounts from released detainees describing how male detainees have received degrading treatment inside Israeli detention facilities.
Ahmed and Muhammad, mentioned in your report, are 2 cases of dozens of cases we documented in a new report of sexual violence against Palestinian detainees practiced by Israeli forces inside Israeli places of detention. We have documented 7 forms of sexual violence, including rape and threats of rape as well.
For many former detainees in Gaza, prison did not end at the cell door. The trauma still follows them home.
Reported on raping them with knives, raping them straight up, raping them with dogs. Those reports there, and
that, folks, is the most moral army on earth, right?
That's what they claim. The IDF and their whole crew there, their whole government there. Wow, it's just. They're finding, I guess they sit around, what's a new depraved abuse we can do against these people? You know what I mean? And I believe it's also part of some rituals going on as well. It's just, it's evil what they're doing there.
I have only heard of these type of depraved things, not these exactly, but like how could somebody be treated and looked at like such a useless piece of meat and not a human being? Oh, well, that's what my textbook said happened to aardvarks during World War II persecutions. You think they would learn a lesson, like maybe we shouldn't treat other human beings like this too, right? You would think.
Never forget, Ruckus, never forget. That's what they scream all day. Never forget. 6 million never forget.
Well, the lessons of the H word. I'm not even going to say the H word, but like these people are the ones that didn't learn the lesson of the H word in my book.
Through their own actions, it's self-evident here now. Okay, that's all the reporting we got. Let's just go to the headlines on Iran International quickly. Has Trump wiped out Iran civilization yet? Ceasefire tested as Iran-U.S. exchange strikes near Hormuz. But it's not a war. Let me tell you. What was the exact quote? That was from Not War Restart. They said, don't be confused about shooting at each other. Oh, man. Iran war fuel shock accelerates China's shift to electric trucks. Oil jumps, U.S. futures slip as Iran-U.S. clashes shake ceasefire. Internet shutdown pushes Iranians onto distrusted domestic apps. Iran spying on their people as well. Trump says Pakistan urged U.S. to pause Project Freedom during Iran talks. Yeah, I think that's probably, I did see reports of Pakistan saying that yesterday. Let's see. And that's about all of, I guess, nothing major, but hey, we're shooting at each other. There's a ceasefire, bro, and this is not a war restart. Amazing. The Orwellian level of propaganda and lies we're at here. Al Jazeera says, headlines, Trump says ceasefire still in effect as Iran-U.S. clashes in Strait of Hormuz. Trump needs a dictionary about the meaning of the word ceasefire. And didn't he threaten them, if you touch one of our ships, we're going to blow you to hell, something to that effect. And so Taco Trump on a Thursday here now.
They got to start the war tomorrow because it's a weekend.
Right. And they got to game the markets and all that, get all their bets lined up. So, yeah.
Start the new operation. I didn't mean it's a war. It's not a war. It's day 69 of completely brand new operations that have just been going on and off, and everything's fine. We won the war 69 times. That's what the number means.
Ruckus, we've been in war with Iran for 47 years, bro. All right. So
how many days is that? I got to adjust this number from 69 to somebody do the math. Oh my God.
Condoleezza Rice told me on the television that we've been at war with Iran for 47 years, and she's briefing the White House on the current Iran not in a war ceasefire.
I honestly did. I didn't realize she was still around until this all was popping off, by the way. I thought, oh God, she's still doing stuff. Neat.
Not much. Yeah, that's what's going on. Is nothing major right now, but that could change any second here now, as everybody's fingers on the trigger, man. It's looks like it's getting ready to heat back up heavy. That's what all signs point to, and they got to get all of their rigging lined up over the weekend, right, Ruckus? Okay, let's go over to Odysee channel. Shout out to Bob, Fat Bob, Huffman, Deep, John, Highland. Quite a few of you guys over there. Thank you for tuning in on the Odysee and keeping that chat going. Ruckus. John said, Ruckus, the people shaming us for eating meat are anti-human, not pro-animal. They are knowingly or unknowingly complicit with the Depop agenda. Yeah.
Agree.
I agree as well there, John. Let's see. Fat Bob says, I've found a new way to relax watching brutal and fatal car crashes on YouTube. Fat Bob.
To each their own, Fat Bob.
Well, that's why he turns into Weaponized News. We haven't been as doom and gloom as with since Simon has not been on the show. I'm trying to get Simon back on, by the way. Just to let you guys know, I've been messaging. We message each other still regularly to let you know. I believe Simon's doing okay. And so I'm trying to get him back on the show because I'm sure he has a whole lot to say about the Iran war at this point. So if we can find him with a good signal, he's somewhere in an undisclosed location with not a good signal. And so if we can get him in a location with a signal, he'll do a show, I believe. Anyway,
we just got to get that guy Starlink.
I don't think he'll take a Starlink. I think he's on to that trick. But anyhow, just letting the audience know I'm trying to get Simon back on the show here. Let's see. Yeah, you guys, thank you for chatting it up. Keeping it quite lively there. Highland says there was a jackal. They're chatting amongst themselves there. I did notice the war criminal didn't show up in any of the election pamphlets. I don't know who they're talking about. They're all war criminals. You got to be more specific, Highland.
Which one?
Yeah, which one? John says 271,000 people died in the work camps from disease and malnutrition. That sounds hateful, John. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I have a bunch of old documentaries about it. And yeah, it's been thoroughly debunked, but it's hateful to even bring it up. So we just trust the official story.
We would never bring it up.
We would never bring it up. But yeah, that's probably about right. And you seen the, I don't know if it's even real, but you know, the tattoo that IBM put on all of them, the tracking number here they put that on them for IBM to track them, International Business Machines, a great American company. Anyhow, I have seen the photo of allegedly the guy with the 271,000 tattoo, and they say this is the last guy. I don't know. I do know through my research that, yeah, what they're telling us is not even close to the correct story there. And I'll just
Speaking of IBM, they are the ones who many moons ago made the news for making breakthrough advances in AI with their Watson, and they still have Watson. And they've still been improving Watson this entire time. Yet you never hear about that one, do you, Sam? That's not available to the public. You can't just go, they do their Grok and their ChatGPT while, like, behind the scenes for, like, decades. They've been using Watson and stuff like that. Just wanted to point that out.
Indeed. Great point. You don't hear much about IBM, and, hey, they are alive and well. You better believe it. John said they were working for the German war effort, so starving them was a good idea. Huffman says, ask Simon why India needs the AGNI V1 ICBM. I don't know why they need that big missile. I will ask him, Huffman. Why does he think they need it? And who else? Oh, yeah. Who was it? Now I went through so much news as per usual. It was Pakistan. Pakistan today, we missed it. But they announced, oh, yeah, they're rolling out, like, I forget, 3rd generation hypersonic missiles, something like this. They're rolling out hypersonic missiles. So all the big boys with the nukes are also simultaneously, you'll notice here now, rolling out hypersonic missiles as well that allegedly there's no defense against. So
they sure love their invisible enemies, don't they?
They do.
Well, nobody's falling for this nuclear thing. Hypersonic missiles, brilliant. What's next? Space lasers? Oh, wait, I just called it, didn't I?
That can cause the same amount of shockwave blast as a nuke, but without the nuclear fallout, without the radiation. And that's what they claim. That's what they claim about this stuff. But notice all world powers are rolling out hypersonics. So that is a trend. Thank you guys for tuning in on the Odysee, X, Bitchute, Twitch, Kick. I went back to Twitch today. I don't think anybody even watches on Twitch, a video gamer thing. There was a bug on Substack. I don't know what was up, but I couldn't get my stream key from Substack. So, but the show will be uploaded here to Substack with all the links as per usual after the show. I did like streaming on there. I don't know if anybody watches on Substack, but anyway, it was a new thing, and we didn't do it today because bugs in the system. So, oh yeah, and programming note, I wanted to tell everybody I had a production meeting with myself, and I decided I needed to circle back to the UN Agenda 2030 Goals for Sustainable Development because I wasn't doing it properly there the way I was doing it. So that is still in my back of my mind, and we will come back to that. And we missed a bunch of stuff just because there's so much, and the government's putting out all these documents. They put out a big new drug report. They put out the national security strategy, and all of that is still on my plate. But we just had so much to cover here with you. So just programming note there for you guys. Okay, let's go over there to let's check out the Rumble and YouTubes. I can only go up so much. Quite lively chats on the Rumble. And shout out to the new YouTube viewers and the longtime listeners as well. Shout out to
And
Denver.
Hasbara trolls. Congratulations, Sam. You finally made it.
I got some of them, and so I got MAGA trolls as well. And so that's when I guess
Very
you know.
nice.
I guess you know that's when you know you made it. What did they say? I literally had a comment said, "Trust in Trump," and I was like, "Wow, okay."
It could be sarcasm. It's hard to tell.
No. It was a MAGA. It was a MAGA, and I don't know if it's a real.
Nice. I'm just being nice.
I don't know if it's a real person or if it's a bot, but it was definitely a MAGA account because I went and looked at it to see, and they really believe that. So, trust in Trump, bro. Keep on trusting in Trump.
We're all fans of 70 chess here, but we hate Trump for YouTube, of course.
Shout out to Denver on the Rumble, Zio, Pamela. Let's see here. A-Dub on the YouTube. Mac on the YouTube. Hip Hip for Francesca. Yeah. And of course, she wrote those reports exposing the corporations, war profiteering off the genocide, and all of the dirty details about the genocide, documented up one side and down the other. And for her work there at the United Nations, America went ahead and sanctioned her. And so making her life very difficult, but it's all very well documented, academically so, for the whole world to see. And so have fun, Hasbro, fighting that. That's why they're so pissed off about it, because they know that's documented proof of their evil. Okay.
You mean they didn't spend all their time and effort trying to disprove what the lady was saying? They just sanctioned her? Oh, okay.
They of course, the regular "you're a hateful person" smear campaigns against her, but once that died down and didn't catch any traction, they don't deny what's in those reports because it's 100% factual. They sanction you, is what they did to her, and I'm surprised, honestly. I'm sure they probably have a hit on her some kind of way, and if they could figure out a way to whack her, I'm sure they would. You know what I mean? Where they wouldn't catch too much heat from it. You can believe that. A-Dub says on the YouTube says that Jesse Smollett got bleached. Face green smiling. Oh my gosh.
That was in reference to somebody who was on the screen at the time. I know what they're talking about.
We did get a troll. They said
there was also the bald Jerry Seinfeld. No, you had like a number of trolls tonight in YouTube, Sam. Congratulations. Yeah.
Well, I'm just seeing some of them. Yeah.
No, I was paying attention. I choose not to engage.
What topic could unite the right and left to fight back against the government?
That's a great question. Maybe the fake alien invasion will do it. We'll see.
What can, I don't know, for people just to get over their petty political differences, when at the end of the day, it's really just all in large part made up BS. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, what does it take for the 99.999999 to say, we're just not doing this? We're not doing your technocracy. We're not putting microchips in our brains. We're not doing this anti-human depopulation program. We're just simply not going to do it. You know what I mean? It takes.
Yeah, but what else would they do? I mean, look at most people. They're really fit for this lifestyle of being a mindless debt slave. Sad to say.
What will it take? It'll take the order followers to stop following evil orders, is what it will actually honestly take, in my opinion. At the end of the day, the men with guns that are trained by the government to kill people, when they say, no, we're not doing your killing anymore, government, you know what I mean? Then it will be game over. That's why they're rolling out the robots who won't say no, right? And so they know that is a possibility that's happened throughout history, that finally the military says, nah, emperor, leader, president, whatever, dude, calling shots here. We're not following your orders anymore. You know what I mean? For whatever reason. And they know that's a real possibility as long as humans are still in the decision-making chain. That's why we're being X'd out, right? I.e. technocracy, i.e. Skynet here.
One of my all-time favorite observations made by Bill Cooper, I forget what it was. It might have been the famous CNN interview, the one where he's sitting on the couch and he talks about UFOs and stuff, all sorts of fun stuff in that interview. But the guy off camera asks him, where are our rights? And Bill Cooper says, your rights are wherever you draw a line and say, if you cross that line, I will kill you. That's where your rights are. And he really said that. And just think about that for a minute, folks. Anyway. Not encouraging you to do anything. I'm just saying.
No, I'm saying that's pretty accurate, though.
That's what our country was founded on, was that type of attitude, and that's why he said that kind of thing. You know,
I'd say that's pretty accurate, because relying on some order follower to defend your rights, you've already lost. You've already lost the game if you're depending on someone else to stand up for your natural rights. And with that, and I see Young jumped in there, and they liked that. They said, nice. Well, thank you. All right. As always, everybody do your own research. Oh, wait. You got any last final thoughts before we sign off here, Ruckus?
no, other than thanks for having me, and don't forget to check me out on Boiler Room tomorrow night after checking out Weaponized News, of course.
Let's plug here. Follow us on the X at Weaponized News at AC_wordslinger. You can see right there. Yeah, just be careful from little green men, from rats, bats. It's getting wild out there. It's getting wild, and they're gonna, who knows? But they got a lot of tricks coming our way here. But forget all that nonsense. You can see it, how bad the economy's doing here now when the price of the gallon of gasoline. So I don't know how much how long their lying propaganda that everything's wonderful can withstand the reality on the ground, that people can see that, hey, my grocery bill's pretty damn high here. You know what I mean? It's looking like Republicans are going to lose the midterms big time. And then we're going to get the whole left wing thing, and they're going to be fighting Trump, and literally nothing for the people, the taxpayers of this country. Little to nothing will get done on our behalf, is the sad state of affairs, is what I'm predicting here now in the short term. All right. As always, everybody do your own research, peace, love, and freedom. Speak out and take action. Have a great rest of your